Felicitations Adventures! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. Today we are playing one of the aforementioned serialized one-shots with the Mausritter gang, which we haven't seen since August, I think was the last time we had a Mausritter one-shot. I'm super excited to have everyone back again. Playing this game, and also excited to be playing this adventuring location, the Temple of the Brackish Basin, which is from Itch, and I'll have links in chat for how you can get it for yourself. But before we get into all that, if you're new here, my name is Taylor. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the person behind Roll for Felicity. I play a lot of one-shots, tabletop games, and then also in on my solo streams I play different video games. Right now I'm playing Minecraft, trying to play hardcore, which has been very stressful. But that's me. I'm gonna throw it over to my guests for them to introduce themselves. And we'll start off with my friend Sierra, who has a man with a chainsaw outside her house.
Yeah,
So
I
you might hear
apologize
some
in
sounds.
advance.
He's just here to be your friend.
Yeah, he just wants to be close to us.
Just wants to talk.
I'm Super Silly Sierra. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I mostly specialize in comic books, though. I'm a comic concierge, which means I like to pretend I know a lot about the business. I can recommend books. We can talk about appraisals. We can talk about stuff to invest in. I don't know. It's fun. They're silly. I'm silly. Come hang out sometime.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
And I have links for everyone's other places you can find them. So Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, etc. are in chat right now. Goblin, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. So, hello, everybody. My name is Goblin. I am a non-binary variety streamer here on Twitch. I do a lot of random games. I've been doing a lot of Darkest Dungeon and Horizon Forbidden West recently. And I also draw. I do a lot of the art on my channel. The art that you're seeing of the mice is also done by myself, and I'm very proud of them. And I take commissions, so if you want to, hit me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my deal.
Goblin's Twitter, that's where you take your commissions through, right? Is Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, Goblin's Twitter is in chat, so if you want to commission them, you can click that link and send them a message. Also, the art of Goblin themselves is also by them, which you can see on stream right now. And then Vanessa, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Oh, hey, people of the internet. How are you doing today? Hi, everybody. I'm Vanessa, aka Galaxy Wanderer X, here on Twitch. I am also a variety streamer. I love that about us. We all like to do very different things while also bonding over our shared interests. As of late, I have been playing a lot of Apex. I don't know where that came from me, because I just scream and shoot and run. But you know, we're getting good, scrubs. We do that, and then we also have chill days where we play like Stardew Valley or Minecraft, and we scream because our dogs almost fall down mine shafts, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm shy today. I'm sorry.
And like I said, you can follow all of my lovely guests here today. Their links are in chat for all the different things they do. Next, I will say we did come up. I came up with an icebreaker question very last minute. I completely forgot to do it, and we decided to delve into the world of politics because of the daylight savings bill that just passed the Senate, where maybe we will always, I guess it's technically will always be in daylight savings time if it passes. So I was just like, oh, let's talk about what we think about that. That can be our icebreaker. And I'll start first with I'm in favor of it. I hate I hate spring forward and fall back. It's annoying and it's confusing, and I don't want to have it anymore. So I'm in favor. What about the rest of you? What's your opinion?
I want it gone. I hate it. I don't like losing an hour and gaining an hour. It messes with my head, and I'm like, wait, are we going forward or backwards? And then I'm like, what time do I have to be up for work? And then it's just nonsense and scary. I'd rather not have to deal with it. Just let time be time. Why are we putting restrictions on time?
Why are we trying to control time?
Let her be. Free her.
I'm gonna say I'm neutral because I'm on like mountain time, and that doesn't move at all.
Yeah, but are you in favor of it so that it won't be confusing? Because we did have some confusion figuring out the time
we
of the
did.
one shot because
And
you were
Google's
not
lying.
affected, and I was trying to figure out what time it was for you.
So it would be nice that we don't have to do the math anymore. And I would say that it's easy enough to Google, but like I said, Google's been lying to me this whole time, so...
Yeah.
The scoundrel.
What about you, Goblin? How do you feel about daylight savings?
I am like staunchly in favor of getting rid of it. I am a creature of schedule and it always throws me. Like I feel like I just get into my schedule for like winter / or the transition between winter and spring and summer and fall, and then daylight savings hits me and I hate it.
Yeah.
I felt it in the way you said I hate it. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, I do.
So
I have opinions.
We're all in agreement that we're in favor of this. Sleep Child mentioned that it wouldn't take effect until 2023. If it passes. It passed Senate but didn't pass the House yet. So,
that
it's
sounds
not
so
a for
far
sure
away,
thing.
but that's literally next year. Like,
I know. Yeah, so this year unfortunately we'll still have fallback. But maybe that'll be the last time. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the game that we're playing today. If you haven't seen previous Mausritter games, Mausritter is an OSR game, which stands for Old School Revolution. So it's games that are mechanics are a little bit simpler for the most part. It also tends to be a more lethal game, although I will be the first to say that I go a little bit easier considering this is a stream. And so if like one of the mice dies midway through, it's a little different on stream than it is in a home game. But I did run this game for my friends Melanie and Tig, who are in chat, and my husband, and all 3 of their mice did die. Not this location. I ran actually the previous game that we did when we did the Liberators. I ran that location for them, and they all died.
I mean we got close there a couple times. I think.
Yeah,
there was a little.
If memory serves, I'm pretty sure I ended that session like on the edge of death.
Yeah, multiple in a row too, because you ended the previous one also on the edge of death. But
Live
part of the reason why.
Pip.
What did you say, Vanessa?
Oh, live dangerously, Cherry Pip.
I love
Keep
that.
running forward. Don't look, just run.
One of the reasons why sometimes it's a little bit easier on our mice is because I do have tip rewards. So let me put that in chat. If you tip 100 bits, you can pick 1 player and give them advantage on a roll. For 200 bits, you can give all 3 players advantage on a roll. Or for 800 bits, I will roll on the random encounter table. You can also tip the cash equivalent, $1, $2, or $8 USD at Ko-Fi, which the link is in chat. So you can use bits or you can use cold hard cash. Either way, that's in there.
Is it pronounced Ko-Fi or coffee?
I don't know.
Because I've seen people be like, oh, buy me a coffee. And I'm like, buy me a Ko-Fi.
It's buy me a coffee. But then I do hear people say Ko-Fi or coffee. So I don't know. I say Ko-Fi. And then I say, I don't know if that's how you say it.
That was very derailing. I apologize.
No, you're fine. That was like the one time I don't know how to say it. And then Vanessa's like, is that how you say it?
I've been wondering this for a while though, so thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
And also I should say before we go, I almost forgot because I haven't before stream, but thank you Goblin and Vanessa for the resubs, which she did while we were on our starting screen. And I said off stream I said thank you, but I also say thank you on stream, because no one else heard. Okay. Wow, I'm looking at my notes and I have one note that just says come up with, and what it and I think it was come up with icebreaker questions, so we'll see. I'll see how well I did with that. Okay. We start our story. Last session, you all... Oh, you know what? Actually, sorry. I forgot to do something else, which is I did not write this adventure. This adventure was written by Brian Stauffer. And I think this is the right command. Yes, you can buy this adventure that we're using, the Drained Temple of the Brackish Basin, on itch. And it's a very cool, like, adventure location. Yeah, on itch. And I highly recommend that you check it out. Brian has a lot of other cool Mausritter stuff on itch as well. Yes, I cannot take credit for this. I did not write the adventure. Because other people who write Mausritter content are much better at writing adventure locations than I am. So, okay, so with that being said, the last adventure, you all had been in this little town called Hayseed, and they were like, oh, there's this, we'll pay you to go to this other location because there's this dormouse scientist who's missing, and we'll, like, you know, pay you handsomely if you can go bring him back. So you went there, you were able to find the scientist who had fallen asleep next to this magical orchid plant. You escaped. You also ran into a frog knight named Slup the Stubborn, who really was quite taken by Cherry Pipp. That's like the main thing that
Much to her chagrin.
Yeah, Cherry was like, I'm not a fan of this, but carry me around. Get hit by traps. So in between then and now, since you all got out of that location, you headed back to Hayseed. You were able to get this reward money. You'd found some treasures. You sold some treasures, refreshed your fixed items that you had, got more supplies, were able to rest for a while, and took off from there because you're still trying to get back home. You've been gone for a little while now because you were kidnapped basically by a human. So after leaving Hayseed, you all traveled for a while, following a river that should have taken you back in the direction of Calvington. After about a week of travel, the landscape around you begins to shift. The grass is longer and more coarse. There's lots of shallow marshes, and the ground seems sandier. Larkspur, being the cartographer of the group, you realize that you've gotten a little off track at some point. Instead of following the stream towards Calvington, you must have followed the wrong tributary at some point during the travels, and you're kind of getting close to the sea. The good news is, Cherry Pipp, you've been here before. You're still about a week's journey from Calvington by, like, mouse travel. But you're getting within the range of places that, like, the circus has traveled to. And you know that this town is a fun little kind of seaside mouse settlement called Brineford, which is small but hospitable. So as you're realizing kind of that you're not, like, I would say maybe a day or so of the travel, you've kind of been going in the wrong direction. Like, it's kind of the thing where you're, like, not really getting further from Calvington, but you're not really getting closer either, if that makes sense. I will say, do you all want to describe your mice for anyone who hasn't caught any of the previous Mausritter games? It's assisted a little bit by the fact that there's some art on screen, so the people in chat can know a little bit about what your mice look like, but they don't know who's who necessarily. I can also pick on someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys. So, Seam is a lovely little spotted mouse with an elongated snout, and we are traveling with our trusty companion Chewy the beetle, who's very helpful, very cute. Thinks he has rights when he doesn't. Thinks he's owed money when, you know, that's debatable.
Oh my god. I forgot that was the whole thing last time, is that Chewie wanted some of the money and everyone was like,
But do you? And you guys were like, yeah, it does. And I'm like, but does he?
Oh, I should have Chewie level up, actually, since you did give him money. So I'll do that while you're describing your...
Chewie has cash.
While you're describing your mice, I'll level Chewie up real quick.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. Cherry Pipp is the what do you call it? The white flecked brown mouse that you see in the group. She comes from a family of circus mice, and so she's done a little bit of traveling. She's very rambunctious. I've been known to describe her as having youngest sibling energy, where she's rambunctious to the point of being precocious sometimes. Yeah, she just vibes.
She creates her own vibes.
She does. Yeah. She creates her own vibe and forces everyone else to vibe with it.
She marches to the beat of her own drum, and everyone else also has to march to that beat.
Exactly.
What about our last mouse? What about Larkspur?
So Larkspur is a little more shy. His tail got hurt once, and we have PTSD sometimes from it. But they have a short, stubby tail, blue patchy fur, and a long rat tail braid to make up for the short tail.
Compensating.
Good with a map. Apparently not right now. We're a little lost, but usually good with a map. And like I said, a little more quiet, mysterious. That's it. That's all I got.
I will say, despite the fact that you not thinking Chewie should have rights, he did level up pretty significantly.
Oh god, what's Chewie working with? Gotta put in the work.
He did have 4 hit points. And then I rolled 2d6 to level him up, and he went up to 10.
Wow!
Higher than some of you now.
Maybe Chewie does have rights. Chewie's more of a person than I am at this point.
Yeah, his hip protection's pretty good now. So that's the most significant thing. The other things just went up by 1. Actually, his will did not go up at all. His will is still the same. So yeah, you're getting close to this town. Like I said, Larkspur, you know basically where you are, even though you haven't been here before. Cherry Pipp, you've been to this town before. Is there anything that you're all talking about as you're starting to recognize your landscape?
Is my sister with us?
Oh, Pecan is with you, yes.
Okay, all right. Then I guess Pecan and I would be swapping or like informing the group on like the vibe of this town telling stories. I feel like some stories that Pecan tells are definitely more getting Cherry out of trouble.
Yeah, I think Pecan. So this town is known for. So I'll describe a little bit like what the town is. It's this little mouse settlement that's around a saltwater pond, basically. And so their main export is sea salt, that they like gather water from the pond and then, get sea salt from it. And so I think Pecan is like, so there was this one time when we were here before, and Cherry just went wild, licking all of the salt on this.
Okay, that was one time.
Well, yeah, but it didn't look very good that we were all trying to, talk to everyone, and you were licking salt off the beach. And I mean, you were only...
It looked like sugar. What was I supposed to do?
You were only a kid, but it was still embarrassing.
I was curious because you know how when you eat a whole bunch of sweet stuff and you get like a sugar rush. Mm-hmm. Is a salt rush a thing?
No, but
I'm curious. I have questions.
You did get extremely dehydrated.
It's fine. The circus was only derailed like 1 day behind schedule.
Yeah, they had to stop the whole circus so they could get some water. So you And I think as you're getting closer to town from far away, it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, this is this basin. As you're getting closer, though, you're noticing, because Cherry and Pecan are talking about, like, this big, like, lake that's in the center, you know, of the town, basically. And you're getting closer, and the first thing you notice about the town is that the lake is basically gone. There's just a big, like, basin, with, like, some little water at the bottom, but the lake looks like it's drained.
Well, that's weird. The salt's gone.
Just like get up and walk away?
Oh, you mean the water. I thought you were saying you all just leave. Just
Yeah,
get up
no
and
thanks.
walk away.
Just
Larkspur, you might want to stick to the maps on this one.
already lost. So does that mean that the town's still
The
there?
town's still there. It's just notable because Cherry, Pipp, and Pecan have been talking about this lake, like this saltwater lake being like important and like a big thing in the town. And as you're getting to the town, you're noticing that it's not really there anymore.
Do Pecan and I notice anything about like just the activity in the town? Or is the vibe any different from how we remember it?
Yeah, I think so. It sounds like you're just like getting into like the town itself, like kind of thinking about this. There's still like people there. Maybe it seems a little bit less bustling than it was the last time you were here. And I think there's a mouse that you see nearby who's kind of like sifting through like the sand, and like it looks like is like trying to get salt, like because there's, you know, if the water is gone, there could still be salt deposits and stuff like that. So there's a mouse that is kind of not the only mouse who's doing this, but the closest one to you as you're thinking about this, nearby, sifting through sand, presumably looking for salt.
I'm gonna sit down and start helping him.
I'm just gonna stab the floor repeatedly with the point of my sword, just like
Listen. Cherry Pip's entire motivation is do then think.
Yeah.
She sees somebody's doing something and clearly doesn't appear to be doing it well, and so she's gonna help.
Yeah, so you go over to help Larkspur, or not Larkspur, Seam. You, as you've mentioned, have this sword that you picked up from outside of this fairy palace and have not been able to let go of it since. It's just been in your hand.
I'm just drawing with like the sword in this like not pond bottom, like
yeah.
like there's something there, but I'm gonna make cute little pictures. So
Yeah, so you're drawing in the
no
sand
thought.
with your sword. Larkspur, is there anything that you're doing, or are you just hanging back?
Kind of just hanging back to see what these three are gonna dig up. I'm not totally sure right now.
Yeah, so Cherry, you go up to this mouse without really saying anything, just start digging around. And he says, excuse me, this is kind of my, I'm trying to get some salt here, kind of getting into my personal space a little bit.
Yeah, because you're not doing a good job.
Okay, I don't think you're from around here. What? Do you think you can get salt out of this pond or out of this lake better than I can?
I mean, it's not much of a lake right now. What happened?
Well, I think he has like a big, like, you know how people have the sieves that they use when they go like beach combing? Like where it's like kind of a shovelly thing, but it's a sieve. I think he has one of those, so he kind of leans on it. And he's like, well, a couple weeks back, all we can figure is there must be some beavers up on the hill or something like that, the tributary that was leading into this lake of ours is dried up. Some of the mice went scouting to see what was up and just found a mass of, logs and sticks and that kind of thing blocking up the river.
there isn't any plans to block it?
Well, beavers are a lot bigger than us, and they don't really want to unblock it, I don't think, so I don't know quite what we're gonna do about that, but you're, where are you three from? It doesn't sound like you're from around here.
Just passing through.
Like, do we want them to know where we're from?
I really know where I'm from.
Well, we've still got an inn here if you need a place to stay.
That'd be nice.
If you're looking for treasure or anything like that, there is something kind of interesting that happened with the lake drying up.
I'm okay.
I think he's just kind of like taking in the sword, and like you all seem like tougher than the average mouse, so he's kind of like, these seem like they might be, like adventuring mice. He gestures towards like the center of the lake, which is, it slopes down. It's a little bit away from you. But you do see, which you may have noticed before, like a building that seems like it was at the bottom of the lake, was submerged underwater, and now that the lake is gone, there's like this building there that's built out of limestone. And he says, when the lake was drained, noticed this ancient temple here, and nobody's been able to get into it, but there's gotta be some kind of treasure or something.
Why can't anyone get into it?
Doors are locked. Can't get in. And, not too many have tried, because it's, could be anything in there.
Well. What do you think, gang? I just gonna turn to them.
Well, we've had some decent luck with temples before, so I wouldn't mind peeking around a little bit.
There's a frog that came into town a couple days ago who's also been trying to rustle up some people to head into the temple with him.
Cherry pales at the mention of frog.
Do you know where we would be able to find him?
I've just seen him wandering around the streets, like, first thing in the morning. He starts looking for mice that'll come with him. He promises that there's gotta be treasure. He's got some sort of nonsense about some kind of thing that he thinks is in that temple. He's one of those knights, they always have some weird stories and quests they're going on, but,
A frog knight.
Yeah, frog.
Cherry gets paler.
Just like side-eyes Cherry, like, dumb games you be playing.
But yeah, if you wander around town, I'm sure you'll run into him. He's actively looking for mice like you, to be honest.
Or one specific Cherry Pipp.
Okay, well we don't know that it's him. Okay, like we can like scout him out, like suss him out. Just like it.
What are the chances, right? It's been a few days. We went in different directions. There's no way.
Yeah, the last time you saw him, he asked if the evil flower in the temple had been vanquished, and Cherry Pipp said no, and he ran into the temple. Was the last time you saw Slup the Stubborn.
All right, well, let's go talk to this frog.
Yeah, you're looking around this town. And yeah, like this other mouse said, you pretty quickly find this frog knight, because it's not a huge town, it's like a pretty small mouse settlement. And he is just actively looking for mice. And actually, let's do a contested roll, just for fun. I think probably between Cherry, Pipp, and Slup, to see who sees each other first.
Oh no!
And I think it'll just be just a roll, not like against anything.
Okay.
So it'll be a d20, and then whoever gets the lower number wins.
I got a 16. Or no, is that a 15? 15.
He got a 20, so you definitely see him, and it is Slup the Stubborn.
I love that.
It is this frog knight that you've
It's fate!
They're meant to be.
It was destiny.
I feel like when I say cherry pales, I imagine like with the fur and everything, mice don't really. I feel like we visited this with the concept
tail.
of blushing.
It was your
Yes,
tail.
yeah. And so my tail is Snow White at this point. And I am going to turn to Pecan and say, "Can you please deal with this? I may have got I didn't get into trouble. I just don't want to deal with it."
What do you want me to do about it? Like, what?
Like, you remember how we used to not trick is the wrong word, but you know how we used to.
I don't know what you mean by we.
Okay, well, you know how I used to like flatter the frog knights, or some of the knights that would come along with us on the circus, and I get them to do stuff for me.
I think the word you're looking for, Cherry, is manipulate. You used to manipulate.
We don't like the word manipulate.
Once again, you're using the word we. Are you talking about yourself and your friends? Because I don't think you're talking about me when you say we.
Gaslight, gatekeep, robots.
Oh, can you just help me out, please?
I mean, what do you want me to do? I think she looks at the other two of you and says, "Do we want this frog to come with us, or do we not want the frog to come with us?"
I don't think he's gonna give us the option.
Well, he hasn't seen us. Couldn't we just go? Couldn't we just leave?
Like, as soon as
He
we
might
come
have
around.
information about what we're doing.
Is the information worth it?
I mean, it's not me having to deal with what you've done with your actions. Well, if it isn't the consequences, no.
If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
My own.
I just realized my own lamp isn't on. That's why it's so dark. So I'm gonna turn it on real quick.
Oh, I mean, if you guys want to go talk to him, I'm staying over here.
Pecan kind of looks at the other two of you and is like, "Okay, do you want to go talk to this frog?"
Let's go see him.
I feel like the second that people turn away from Cherry, when they turn back, she has like hidden behind the nearest building and is peering out.
Pecan just shakes her head, rolls her eyes. All right, let's talk to this frog. Kind of starts walking over. And Slup, so Pecan didn't go into the last temple with you all, so Slup doesn't know her, but does know the other two.
That's what I'm banking on.
Yeah. And, Slup, is looking for mice, looks over, sees the two of you, and goes, "Hail and well met, adventurers! I didn't think I'd be seeing you here again. I mean, you again, not you here again."
It's been a while, right?
Yes, it's been, at least a fortnight since last we saw each other.
What have you been up to, Slup?
Yeah.
Well, I went in to fight that evil flower, and imagine my surprise when I entered the temple and I solved all the puzzles and I got to the flower and it was just a normal flower. It wasn't evil at all. So that took me about 3 days. And then I left there and I had heard that there could be a similar temple here, and I thought, well, I've got one under my belt, I may as well make my way to the next adventure in search of treasure and honor.
I heard it was full of honor.
Yes, that's what I've heard as well. I've heard that there's a mighty sorcerer who has been trapped inside the temple, was held captive there by the previous, long ago, the residents of this town found a sorcerer and trapped them inside the temple, and whoever releases the sorcerer is granted a boon.
Did you happen to hear how we get inside, by chance?
I'm afraid I don't know. I was hoping if I could gather some other like-minded adventurers that perhaps we could all go together and investigate the temple and see if we could make our way inside.
Just like looking for Cherry.
Yeah, he is kind of like looking around. He's like, I can't help but notice you've replaced your previous compatriots with a different mouse.
They're still around.
Cherry throws something at Larkspur.
I don't know if I want to out Cherry.
Immediately Slup looks over.
Whoops!
Does the fair mouse fear something? Is she hiding?
I'm just a little shy.
Did he see me?
I don't know. Well, I don't know if he saw you, but Larkspur said, like, she's still around, and then something came flying from Lyrian. So I think he put together that maybe Cherry is around.
Flop, I think you fluster her, so.
Oh,
Cherry throws something at Seam.
it's not my intention to fluster such a fair maiden. Is there anything I can do to make it up to her? Perhaps if we travel into the temple, I can give my boon to her, and she can have 2 boons.
I think she'd appreciate it, but maybe try to be a little less charming.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's what the flusters come from, right?
I admit that's been a problem for me in the past. I shall try to be less charming. It'll be a challenge, but I'll try.
Just gagging noises.
Oh no! Just pat someone on the
Not
shoulder
like
a couple of times,
actual.
like, yeah.
Oh. Okay, am I part of this conversation now?
Do you want to
If you
be?
want to be, whenever you're ready.
You've been from afar throwing things, so it's up to you if you want to join the conversation.
I think I'm gonna stay out. I'm gonna sell the illusion that I'm so flustered.
Oh, my
I love
mom
that.
just tipped bits, so you all can get
Oh.
advantage on a roll. Thank you, Mom.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very cute.
Thanks,
So
Mom.
you can hang on to
Thanks,
that and
Mom.
use it whenever you want to. Cool. So you're still staying off to the side. I think Slup, Larkspur, you I don't know why I keep doing this. Seam. You both have the same last name, so that's part of
We're
the
thorns.
problem. Yeah.
Thorns, but of different bushes.
Yeah. Seam, Slup looks at you, and you have like a sword in hand, which he doesn't really know why.
I
And he
want a
says,
sword now.
yeah, he says, "You look like you're ready
I have
for
a Swiffer.
adventure." You're just gonna hold it the whole time.
I have to.
You look like you're ready for adventure. Will you come with me and join me in exploring this ancient temple?
I mean, why not? An adventure is an adventure.
He just like starts like marching off towards the temple. His big frog feet are just slap, slap, slap against the ground. Pecan says, I think I'm gonna stay in town. It seems like that's probably what's best for me. You know, kind of like last time. I'll just hang back. You and Cherry can kind of do whatever.
If you could send rescue if we're not back in a few hours.
Yes, yeah, I can definitely do that. But you guys will be fine. I mean, you've explored temples before.
Yeah. Feeling confident.
Pecan, I think, goes to Cherry and says, Cherry, do you think you could spare me some pips? I don't really have any money. I'll need some pips to get myself something to eat so I can hang out while you're in this temple.
Sure. How much do you want?
I don't know, like 10 pips? That should be good.
I take 10 pips out of my... I don't exactly know where I'm keeping them, but just out of my inventory.
Yeah, you presumably have a bag.
Your backpack labeled inventory.
Yeah.
And then, true to form, Cherry's gonna throw the 10 pips at Pecan.
Okay, let me roll Dex to see if Pecan can easily catch them. Oh yeah, that's a 3. She just catches them and kind of rolls her eyes and is like, "Thanks, Cherry," and heads off towards a restaurant.
Used to younger sibling
like
shenanigans.
She's ready. She's ready.
Absolutely.
Reflexes on point.
So yeah, you're Cherry, are you following the rest of them following Slup?
Now that Slup has left, I'm following at a distance.
20 feet behind.
Social distancing.
So Slup is
What
in the
color
lead.
is-
And then are the other two of you hanging back with Cherry, or is it
No,
three
as soon
groups?
as Slub started walking, I was going.
What about Larkspur? Are you waiting for Cherry, or is it like the 3 of you or 4 of you with Chewy and then Cherry far behind?
Kind of like in the middle between Seam and Cherry, just so Cherry doesn't fall too far behind. I can hear them mumbling under their breath about following Slum, but that's about it.
Yeah, so Slup and Seam and Chewy are up in the front, headed towards this temple, with Larkspur and then Cherry in the back. And you get to this temple, like I said, it's made of limestone. And the first thing that you see is at the center and like lowest point of this drained pond/lake. Only some stones, dried seaweed, and a trickle of water remains. And at the base of the basin is this sealed stone door. And what you see is on the door is carved the words, "Water seals our folly of pride." And there is also a carving. And a carving on the door shows 2 fish with legs standing on the top of like the bell of a jellyfish with their arms reaching towards a floating crystal. And the door is made of limestone. And there's also some little cups on the door, basically, that you can see. Two, like one on each side. One on each door, technically. It's like a 2, I said it's a door, but it's, like 2 doors. Like how when you go into a temple, there's usually double doors,
You get fancy, you get 2.
Yeah.
As a treat.
That's what you
Yeah,
see.
as a treat. The fish, is it human legs or mouse legs? I'm just curious.
I
just want to know.
I don't think it's
You said
either.
legs,
super
I think
muscular
it's like
tree trunk
scaly
thighs.
legs.
Okay. All right. Trying to get a
2
real visual.
options. They also have arms, so it's like fish bodies, but like arms that are reaching towards this like crystal, and then legs, and they're standing on top of something.
Well, I've never seen a fish like that, so that's cool.
Yeah, Pecan and I have been to a lot of seafaring towns, and I've never seen those before.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, none of you have seen depictions or in real life fish with arms and legs like this.
So, Slup, what's the plan here?
Well, I was hoping that perhaps one of you clever mice could figure out how to get the door open. I've tried running into it, and that didn't solve the problem.
Did you try to pull? He said he pushed. Did he try to pull?
I did not try to pull. Perhaps, should I try to pull?
If you can, yeah. I don't know.
He goes to the door and, like, kind of tries to. There's not really much to grip onto. I think he grabs, like, one of the little basins that's in the door, one of the little, like, cups that's in the door, and, like, tries to use that to pull, and it doesn't give.
Hmm.
He kind of shakes his hand and says, well, the pull handles are wet and slippery, and the door doesn't seem to budge.
I'm trying to... Would you mind repeating the insignia on the door?
Yeah. Do you want just what it says, or do you want the description of what's drawn on it as well? Or carved?
The description of, like, what's carved.
Yeah, so it has the words, water seals our folly of pride. And then it has a depiction of two fish with legs and arms standing on the bell of a jellyfish, and their arms are out reaching towards a floating crystal.
Sorry, go for it.
Oh, go for it.
No, I have no idea, so go.
I think there's actually a picture of it in the thing, so I'm going to send to our Discord. I'm going to send what the picture looks like of the door. But what were you going to do, Cherry Pipp?
I'm curious. Is it meant to imply that we're supposed to get higher up? That's the only thing that's coming to mind. I am stumped.
I mean, you could try to get higher up. Like what? Like climbing on top of the temple? Is that what you're thinking?
Not on top of the temple. I was trying to connect anything from the inscription to anything around us, and out of the four of us, Slup looks the closest to a jellyfish.
You want to climb on top of Slup?
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
Sure.
Okay, so you go over to Slup. Do you just start climbing him, or do you say anything first?
No words. Just going for it.
Slup is just kind of standing, like, tapping his foot, looking at the door, like, thinking really hard, trying to figure out what's going on. Cherry, you climb up his back, and he kind of, like, ugh, and then, looks around, at, like, I think at Larkspur, and kind of mouths the words, like, I think it's working, that he's, like, being less charming. Cherry Pipp, you're standing on Slup's head? Is that what you're doing?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have a lot of practice at this.
You're on his head.
Can you see anything up there, or?
Can I?
You're seeing pretty much the same thing that you saw before, just from above.
Okay, alright. No, I'm not seeing anything.
Actually, here's what I'll say.
Maybe we all need to be up here.
Cherry, you do notice maybe from this higher angle that the little pulls on the door that, like, Slup tried to use to pull the door open are filled with water.
Ooh. Okay, I share that with the group.
Maybe we have to empty them. Water seals, so
Oh,
maybe they need to be dry.
There's an idea.
We just start scooping it out with our little paws.
You start scooping the water out. And indeed, as you do so, the door, as soon as the two little cups are empty, the door swings open. And you are in a foyer. There are lights in here, so you don't have to use your torches or anything. But just as a reminder, since it's been a little while since we've played Mausritter, for just about every 10 minutes, which is roughly like every main action that you all take in a room, I am keeping track of turns, and every 3 turns, I roll on the encounter table to see if something, if something comes up.
Oh boy.
So I will count that as the first turn. And whoops, the little turn tracker I made is not letting me click it, so I may have to do something else. But yeah, that's your first turn. So you come into this foyer. Water drips irregularly from the stone ceiling, and the last dregs of the draining water cling to the gray slate floors. Walls throughout the temple are decorated with aquamarine lining and embedded shells. And then you can see directly in front of you, like facing forward, there's a stairway. And then to your left... Oh, now I'm having to figure out if this is... it would be to your left, there's a doorway, and there's also a doorway to your right.
What's it smell like?
It smells like seaweed and salty water. Like, it smells like the ocean in here.
Seeing if we could smell any like fish people. Is that weird? Does it smell fishy at all?
There's maybe some lingering fishy scent.
Okay. Alright. So who wants to pick a door?
I feel like Cherry's already like making her way down the stairs.
Yeah. If you're going... Hang on, let me make sure I'm looking at this right. Yes. So you're going down the stairs to like this other room. I think there is a door like in between it, but it's not locked or anything. So you open this door and go down the stairs. What are the other two of you doing? Are you going with Cherry, or are you splitting up? Or are you looking more around in the foyer?
I would say Larkspur is starting to draw a map of where we came out of and the 2 doors and the stairs.
Oh,
and
nice.
Starting to do like a little bit of what they usually do.
Yeah, that's smart, because you have a, outside of the narrative of the story, I did give you a map so you could see kind of what's going on, so that's nice that Larkspur is keeping track. So in fiction you can have one as well. What about Seam?
About how big is the foyer?
It's... Jeez. Probably...
In comparison to my mousy body?
Yeah, gosh, that's always the thing that I'm bad at anyway, is sizing. I
didn't think about this being some sandcastle or something, and we're just really small. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because you are mouse-sized. I think it's inches to feet in Mausritter. So I'll say it's like probably 15 like inches across, which is like equivalent to like 15 feet. And probably 20 feet long.
I'm just gonna do a quick pass around and like look out for anything of note.
Yeah. So you two are spending the 10 minutes doing that. Cherry, Pipp, are you spending your 10 minutes looking into the next room, or are you waiting for everybody else to catch up with you?
I feel like Cherry started like going down the stairs on her own, but she stops herself and notices that everyone else isn't following her, and so she retreats back.
Okay.
She's growing.
That's good. she has
Character
some
development.
growth, yeah. Okay, so what are you spending your 10 minutes doing then, Cherry? Are you also just kind of looking around?
I guess so, yeah. Just like, I don't want to leave the room just yet.
Mhm.
Like, I would like to stay together as a group. But yeah, I'm wandering around.
Cool. Okay, so Seam, you see, the main thing that you notice is there's this big, mural, on one of the walls. I think it's the wall towards where Cherry Pipp was headed. And the mural is of fish, these like same kind of like, ambulatory fish, that are holding tridents, and pointing them at, actually, you know what?
This is my trident.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say each of you roll a d6. To see, I already mentioned this, like, what this thing is, but I just want to see if your mice would know what this creature is. And you want to roll low.
Rolled a 3.
I rolled a 5.
2.
Okay. Cherry, you don't know what this is. And Seam, you don't know what this creature is. Larkspur, you do. You know that the creature is, which I mentioned it before, is a jellyfish. Which I think the other two, like, even though Cherry Pipp has traveled a lot, you wouldn't necessarily have run into a jellyfish before. Like, you're kind of in exclusive environments that you wouldn't see each other. So
I grew up inside of the walls. I don't know what anything is.
Seam grew up in the walls of a house, so also wouldn't have seen a jellyfish. But Larkspur, you're kind of a cartographer, like a little bit more, I think just a little bit more like well-read. So maybe at some point you've like read some sort of bestiary or something that has like this thing that you recognize as a jellyfish. So Seam is the one who's really looking at this mural. Mural. And seeing the fish pointing tridents at what you're thinking is just this kind of like weird looking creature. Yeah, it's like got a big round top and then these little strings coming down. So that's what you see. Are you gonna...
I'm just gonna trace the lines of the mural with my sword.
Why are those weird fish people pointing sticks at that hat?
That hat can be very dangerous if you don't mind the tentacles.
Danger hat.
Actually. Angel. Yeah, it could be.
Cherry Pipp, what you spend your time looking at is the staircase that you're about to go down is flanked by two statues of ambulatory fish holding tridents. One of the statues is kind of like broken and collapsed. But you can tell what it was supposed to be because the other one is still there.
Okay. Are they in any particular pose, the statues? Or are they just like standing with their tridents?
They're standing with their tridents, like they're guarding something.
Okay. Cherry Pipp has second thoughts about going down those stairs.
Valid.
But yeah, that's the 10 minutes. Larkspur, you have like kind of a good map of this first room. And I think you're kind of like also poking around and like kind of figuring out the general shape of the temple as a whole. So like you're marking like, okay, there's like a room over here, there's a room here, and like kind of matching that with like what you've seen from outside the temple. So you don't have like, a map of the entire temple, but you're at least able to like, you'll be able to stay oriented to where you are.
Okay.
But yeah, what are you all wanting to do next?
I know Cherry just hesitated, but I kind of want to go down those stairs.
Yeah.
Onwards we must go.
All right, I guess we're going down the stairs.
Yeah, you head down the stairs. And the first thing is, as soon as you step into this next room, you have this really strange sensation. Which is, like, there's, like, a door that was here. You open the door, you step... actually, even before you step into it, it looks like this room is filled with water. Like, there's some seaweed in the room that's kind of, like, doing this in, like, the water. The way the light is coming through, it looks like water, but when you open the door, the water just stays, like... It doesn't rush out of the room.
Like Jello?
Like Jello, yeah.
I'm gonna poke it.
Yeah, that's
You
also
poke
what I
it,
thought.
it feels kind of like water when you poke it, but kind of not. It's not thick like Jello. And it's not as thick as water either.
Can
What
we
a-
ask? I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Would it be rude to ask Slup if he could judge the quality of this water being a frog? Is that
You can
Stop.
You can ask him. The only way you can find out if it's rude, I think, is if you just ask.
That's fair. Sir, what do you think of the quality of this water?
He kind of is looking at it. He puts his hand in like Cherry Pipp and says, "Well, only one way to find out," and just marches into it, walks into it, kind of like looks around and says, "Well, this is the strangest water I've ever been in," and you can see like bubbles coming out of his mouth, but like they're not going straight up the way that bubbles would normally in water. They're kind of like going out from his mouth. It seems it's not zero gravity. Like, he didn't step in and like begin floating, but like the way that things are in there seem a little bit zero gravity-ish, if that makes sense. But he says, I think you'd be just fine coming in here. I mean, you're mice and I'm a frog, but come on in, the water's fine."
Seam just takes a deep breath, like cheeks puffed, like, and just marches.
Yeah, it feels
Sword first.
It
Sword
feels
first.
cooler on your fur, and your fur does begin to like go up like it would in water. Like it's a little bit. You're still holding your breath?
Just be like,
Yeah. You're holding your breath. You're in this room. It's weird. It's definitely, now that you're in it, you can tell it's definitely not water, but it feels a lot like water.
be anything. I'm curious, like, can I breathe in the water?
Are you gonna try?
What if I drown?
I was actually I was gonna do this earlier, but I'm going to, after having tested with my paw, I'm going to stick my snout in and just breathe in very deeply.
Yeah, so Seam is like holding her breath like underwater, like under this water. Cherry, you stick your snout in and breathe in. It feels weird a little bit. It's like a little bit uncomfortable, and smells like salt. I mean, it like really is kind of stinging your nose a little bit, but you can breathe. You can breathe it.
Okay. I relay that to the group, I guess.
Mm.
I
Takes a
like
cautious breath in.
Yeah, it is like a little bit uncomfortable. It stings your throat a little bit as you're breathing it in. But you can breathe. Like it is, you know, you're not drowning.
Can I like step in and then kind of like push my I guess outside of water it'd be jumping. But just like just see what the gravity's like in this not water.
Yeah, it's not like, again, it's not exactly like how it would be if you were underwater. Like, you don't feel necessarily like you could swim in it, but you are like falling a little bit more slowly than you normally would. So it's not like zero gravity, but it is like behaving like a little bit less gravity, if that makes sense.
I
Okay.
just imagine Cherry like cannonballs in, and it's just like slowly.
That is
going to the
absolutely
floor.
what happens.
Yeah.
That is absolutely what happens. And when she realizes it, she kind of like unclenches and is like, well, that was anticlimactic.
Yeah, what's Larkspur doing? You're the only one not in the water.
I was gonna say, is it me and Chewy on the outside? Or...
What's Chewy up to?
I think Chewy sees Cherry go in and just like flies into the water. And
Ever the follower that Chewy.
yeah. And you can see his like wings are going, and it like he seems like a little uncomfortable, and so he flies kind of slowly over to Seam and kind of sits on top of Seam's head.
No, I just bring him down and I put him on my chest.
Yeah, he snuggles
My
in.
free arm, like,
Holding him.
it's okay. I know it's not cozy.
Is there anything else I can take note of before stepping in? Is there anything I don't know if that...
Yes, let me look at this room. Hang on. Oops, I'm trying to change my light and I'm hitting the wrong buttons. There we go. Okay, yeah, let me scroll to what this room is. Hang on. So the room that you're in, like, for the benefit of the map that you have, is, like, the central kind of room. So Larkspur, you're kind of looking in, and, you know, since you're not, like, figuring out what this water is, you're kind of being a little bit more cautious looking at what's ahead. There is, in the center of the room, a large, glowing salt crystal, and there's algae, like a large glowing salt crystal, which is floating like towards the top of the room. And there's algae all over every surface. There's seaweed that's kind of swaying. And also it seems like there's a big pit in the center of the room, which you can't quite see, like what's going on with that from where you are.
All right.
Does everybody see the salt crystal?
Yes. Yeah, once you're all kind of like looking around, you can see it. I think Larkspur's just the first one to see it because the rest of you are focusing on like whether or not you can breathe, whereas Larkspur's kind of like into the room.
Priorities.
Yeah. And I'm going to roll on the encounter table.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
What are you all doing next?
Cherry wants to lick the salt crystal.
So the salt crystal is above this big pit. And even though, like I said, there's like some gravity stuff, you actually, Cherry, no, I don't think you could even roll for this. It's really high up, higher than you could jump even with like a little bit of an advanced jump. And especially because you can't get directly below it because there's this pit that it's over the center of, if that makes sense.
Would it be something that a frog would be able to jump?
Let me see. The frogs do have.
I just want to exhaust all of my options.
Yeah,
here.
frogs do have like a jump thing. So let me pull up Slup's stats.
I was
real
gonna
quick.
say Cherry's gonna get their wish with everyone standing on top of each other soon.
All right, leaps to. Okay, I have to consult the rule book.
trusty handbook.
Because it says that frogs can leap 2 times normal speed.
But what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what normal speed is. Okay. I can have Slup try to jump up to this salt crystal.
Falls into the pit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But Cherry, what are you? I think you're definitely gonna have to say something to Slup to get him to do this.
Gotta pull out the lashes.
I mean, Cherry is torn because Goblin enjoys the dynamic between Slup and Cherry. I think it's great. Cherry would think of this as, well, if he gets up to it, then I get to lick the crystal, and that if he doesn't, then oh well. Are we able to see the bottom of this pit? I guess I should ask that.
If you want to go and look, you can go over and look at it.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Okay. So you look over this pit, and you can see at the bottom of it. It's kind of far down, and at the bottom of it you can see. Oh gosh, what can you see? Little, they almost look kind of like anemone kind of things at the bottom.
Is there any kind of rubble that I could pick up and experimentally drop onto them?
Oh yeah, for sure. You could even go back to the previous room and grab one of the statues that you saw that was kind of falling apart.
Okay, I'll do that. I want to see what kind of danger Slup would be in.
Yeah. So Cherry, you do that. What are the other two of you doing as Cherry is immediately thinking about wanting to lick the crystal? Has Larkspur come into the water yet?
Yeah, they finally stepped through, I would say.
Yeah, you feel that same sensation. Your rat tail is kind of floating a little bit behind you as you step into the room. What's Seam doing now that you've got Chewy and you know that you can breathe?
Looking around the ceiling around the area to see if there's anything we can. Wait a minute. Can I try, can I practice throwing my fish hook to see if I could, if it goes off well, the momentum in the water?
Yeah. Are you trying to get the salt crystal, or are you just practicing?
Right now, we're just seeing if it, if the momentum moves it well.
Yeah.
Kind of gauging it.
I think roll me strength.
What dice would that be?
You're rolling a d20, so it's the round dice.
Okay. We want to roll low.
You want to roll low. You want to get lower than your strength score.
Okay. We got an 8.
Okay.
My strength is a 6.
Yeah, so Seam, I think because there is a little bit more resistance than if this was just air, you can still throw the hook. It's not you can't do it. But it is a little bit like throwing things underwater, where it's as hard as you throw, it does not go as far as you know it normally would.
Can I try to hook onto the crystal?
Yeah. I think that's gonna be strength again to try to.
Please. Wait, I'm gonna switch dice. We're gonna go for this one because we're dealing with water. Look.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay.
Come on. 3.
That's good. Yeah.
That was way too aggressive for a successful roll.
I'm telling you guys, playing Apex has made me so aggressive.
Yeah,
God.
let me see. Let me see. I have to
What
look
if
and see if
something
this
bad
is a
happens?
thing
Oh,
that can
no.
be pulled down or not. That's the next thing I have.
Maybe I
to
can
look
climb up to it.
Easier in the water to climb up to it, right?
I'm also holding a sword.
Yeah, you are holding a sword. Alright, hang on.
Is your hand getting tired yet from holding that?
Not actually, like... I think of the ADHD is like fidget, fidget, fidget.
There you go.
You just... I just switch it back and forth.
Okay.
There you go.
I have to figure out what the deal with this. I know what the salt crystal is. I don't know what happens if you pull it down.
I explode.
Explode.
I think it is. This is so interesting. I don't know why I didn't think of this happening.
I'm sorry.
No, it makes sense. That's what I would do if I was in your shoes.
Is that, if anything, just the quintessential role-playing experience?
Yeah. Okay, let me see. Because I know what this thing is, but I don't know what the effect of it being moved from this specific place is.
In the world.
Here's what I think happens. Actually, I know what happens. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay. You put your hook and catch it onto the salt crystal. And as soon as your hook touches the crystal, you're just like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I even want this? Like, and more than that, as like the longer you're holding on to your fish hook, you're actively not wanting to pull it down.
It's so... I don't know. What the hell? Just... I let it go, but I leave like the hook hanging from there.
Yeah, you do that. The hook,
and just like really confused because I was very motivated for a minute there, and then I really wasn't.
Yeah, you let go of the rope that your hook is on, and it like slowly kind of swings so it's hanging straight down over the pit. And yeah, Slup kind of looks at you and is like, "What? I thought you were going to pull down that crystal."
So did I.
I grabbed the rope.
I was
sorry.
I'm gonna.
Sorry,
go for
go,
it.
Nessa. Go, Nessa.
No, Larkspur.
Larkspur. The rope has fallen so that it's over the pit now because it's hanging straight down from the crystal.
Gonna jump. Oh my god, you jumped.
You can try to get it. You will have to jump to the rope to try to grab it. Which I'll say, I feel like that's dex more than strength to jump over to it.
Sure. I got a 2 and my dex is 6.
Nice.
Ooh,
so you
nice.
over, grab onto the rope, and as soon as you grab onto like the fishing line, you're kind of like, why did I just do that? Like, why did I want this so bad? Your first instinct, honestly, is just to let go of the string. You don't have to, like, I'm not gonna be like, you have to fall, but that is Larkspur's like first instinct, is just like, I don't even want this. I don't know why I jumped over here.
I'm gonna say I let go for a second, slide down the rope a little bit.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
Does Larkspur get any closer to those anemone? Or what is it?
I mean, a little bit closer,
right?
but Larkspur's not in the pit at this point because, like, basically the end of the rope, I would say, is slightly below the, like, ring of the basin. Does that make sense? Or not the basin, the opening of the pit. Because the crystal is pretty high up. The hook is attached to the crystal. The rope is, like, doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the pit.
Guys, I can't remember why I wanted this.
Yeah, Larkspur's just dangling over this pit. Cherry, did you still want to drop something down it?
Yeah, I feel like Cherry originally wanted to pick up like a small, like paw-sized piece. But Cherry being Cherry, you see her like slowly shoving a piece of rubble that it's obviously not going to be too big because it's a statue, but it's like a good half her size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you roll that back into the room. You see Larkspur dangling over the pit and Seam just kind of standing to the side looking kind of confused. But you roll this, this piece of statue over, and drop it into the center of the pit. And the anemones, the rock, like I said, it's not exactly like water. So the rock falls a little, or the piece of statue falls a little bit more slowly, but not like as slowly as water. So it falls in. The anemones at the bottom, you realize that they're kind of scattered all along the bottom of this. The first thing you see is a little head come out, and they all begin to move away from the rock that you dropped, or the piece of statue that you dropped. They look, now that you're seeing them moving, they look like slugs that have an enemy like parts of their body that are coming out of them. So like their backs look kind of like anemones, but they are slugs, and they're kind of slowly moving away from the piece that you just dropped.
Can I try calling out to them?
Yeah. What are you calling out?
Something to the effect of like a hail and well. Like I'm trying to gauge the intelligence of these things.
Yeah, you call out to them like hail or whatever, and the heads like kind of look up at you and then shrink back down into their bodies and go
Cherry seems very put out at the prospect of not making a new friend.
Also, I'll say, just as a reminder for Mausritter, that like there are other creatures that are intelligent creatures that you can't communicate with. Like the baseline
language.
Yeah, the baseline basic usually is that mice and other creatures don't speak the same languages. I like the frog knights being able to talk to you. So I have it that you can talk to frogs, and only really Chewy can only really communicate with Seam. So
Via vibes.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily that they're like not intelligent creatures, but like they might not speak the same language as you.
I feel like we're using our knight friend a lot this round, but can he speak with the slugs, or is that assuming things?
You can ask
Is that
him.
too much?
I don't know if you know. I mean, I think the baseline assumption would be no, because usually it's different, like, species can't communicate with each other, but you could ask him. I mean, maybe he does.
Slup, sir, you're a knight of many talents. I was wondering if you could speak with these guys at all. Perhaps,
well, I
maybe.
could certainly try, and he leans over just like Cherry Pipp did and yells, "Hail and well met!" And the slugs curl even tighter.
Oh no!
I can speak with them, but I don't know if they can speak with me.
I'm so glad we covered this.
Seems, or
Like,
sorry,
Chewy,
Larkspur
can
is
you?
still dangling.
Yeah, I'm still on the rope. We're still.
Just chilling, hanging.
What were you gonna say to Chewy? Seam.
Chewy can bugs.
Bugs and slugs.
Bugs and
Chewy, like, moves his antenna and like ruffles his wings, like kind of irritated.
Oh my god. When did you pick up an attitude?
He rolls his eyes.
Probably hitting
somehow.
his teen years. Oh my god. Chewie, do you think you could try to talk to them, please?
I think Chewie kind of like like if he was a human, it would heave like a big sigh, but he's a bug, so I don't know what sound that would be, and kind of like spins, kind of spins away from you very distastefully, gets his wings out. You can tell that he doesn't like the like sensitive part of his wing to be in like whatever this is.
Oh baby.
But buzzes down into the pit, but actually gets to like the surface of it and then like reacts in some way as soon as he's like at like the lip of it, and then comes back to you and looks like like pissed off.
What are the vibes, Chewie?
Show me the vibes, Chewie.
Chewie communicates to you that whatever is in the pit is actually water. So the pit is full of water, but the room that you're in is full of whatever the stuff is that isn't water.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm gonna swing off the rope with that said. I don't want to actually fall into the pit now.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me dexterity again to see how you do.
Oh no. 18.
Okay, so you
a 6.
fall.
You do have advantage.
You can use an advantage if you want. I mean, you know that you will just fall into water, so it's, not as dire as you may have thought before.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, I guess we'll save it then. Alright, I fell in the water.
Yeah, so you fall in the water. Larkspur, canonically, we've established, can swim. So you fall, you land in, like, actual water, and now that, like, someone has touched it, you can see, like, the ripples coming out. I think, Cherry, it maybe was hard to tell that that's what was happening when you dropped the statue in, because of, like, the way that the water, the fake water that you're in and the regular water, just hard to judge. But Larkspur, yeah, it looks really weird, because it looks like you're swimming in water, but also, like, the top, like, the parts of you that aren't in water kind of look like they're in water, but you swim across the top and come over to, the lip of the basin and bring yourself back up onto dry land. The hook and fishing line are still hanging from the crystal.
Did we ask if there's any other doors or anything?
There are other ways out of here. So there's a door to the left, a door to the right, and there is a large stone door, like if you were still just going straight, like the way that you came in, so like in front of you. There's a large stone door with aquamarine trim, and it has a carving on it as well, like a lot of, this area, or this temple has like these carvings that depicts a heroic ambulatory fish stabbing a trident into the hood of a jellyfish. And in the center of the door, there's like a round recess that looks like something could fit into it.
Does the recess look crystal shaped?
It does not.
Okay.
The crystal is like, I'm like very like dark crystal kind of shaped like a shard. This is like round like a disc.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, looks like we've got to find a key. Or some kind of key, I don't know.
I think you're onto something, Cherry.
Do we want to split up? I don't want to split up, but I don't know.
It might be quicker.
Yeah, but we might come across some unsavory characters, and I don't know if I want to do that split up,
If you don't want to get stuck alone with the knight, you don't have to be. It's fine. That won't happen.
What is that supposed to mean? I would be a gallant companion for any
You're just so
mouse.
distracting, Slup.
Oh, I see.
With all that charm.
Yes, so distracting. Okay. Well, I would like to stay together as a group.
We can do that.
Okay.
Where do we start, though?
I'm looking at the map and it looks like there are some stairs off to the side of the crystal.
Are those stairs? Hang on, let me see.
I assumed that was like 2 flights of stairs leading
Oh,
down.
yes, you're right. That is what it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Then I'm gonna go up the stairs first.
Cool. Yeah, I'm assuming everybody's going that way because you also two wanted to stay together.
Always following Cherry.
Okay. Ooh, okay. So this room, you walk in. It is completely filled with a structure that is like made of like scavenged seashells. So it's like this big, like almost like inside the room is a cave or like a house or something like that that's made out of seashells and like lots of other bits and bobs of things that are attached to this room.
Is there anything that's like hidden from us? Like, is this constructed wall like blocking our view of anything?
I mean, it's blocking your view of like I said, it's kind of a cave, so you can't really see like inside of the structure, if that makes sense. But
Gotcha.
Other than that, like you can, I mean, it's not exactly a wall. It's like probably half of the room diagonally is like a giant pile of shells and other things. And there's a hole in that you would assume the inside is like hollow. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna poke my head in the hole.
You poke your head in the hole, and you are immediately pushed out by this big hermit crab that scuttles you out. And let me do a vibe check for this hermit crab.
Vibe check.
Actually, I think Cherry, roll me a will save.
Oh boy.
'Cause I'm gonna treat this as like the force of your personality, how this
Okay.
hermit crab feels about you.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I rolled an 11 and my will's a 10.
Do you want to use your advantage?
So close. I think I will.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll again.
Okay. Come on. 19. Nope.
Okay, so you poke your head into this, like, kind of structure, immediately bowled over by this hermit crab, who is standing over top of you, eyes very close to your face, definitely he seems angry. And has, like, kind of, like, his claw ready, but is not, like, attacking you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, the other, I think immediately Slup, though, draws his weapon and says, "Unhand that young maiden!"
Do I have a chance? Or, sorry.
I was just gonna say, what are Larkspur and Seam doing as you see this happen to your friend?
I have that like needle thread or like needle.
your sword, needle sword.
Yeah, so I pull out my sword. Got my sewing needle with me because it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah. Oh, I'll say also, this room does not have the watery like thing that the previous room had. So once you walk into this room, it's like regular air again.
Gotcha.
What is Seam doing?
Okay, just like, why is this continuously happening? Why must Cherry
Why must
In these situations.
Why was
So two of you are brandishing weapons. The hermit crab scuttles backwards, still claw up, kind of like sitting at the edge of like his cave, and is kind of like peering at you.
I can't even put my weapon away, so it's because I want to be like diffuse the situation, but it's like calm down, you know, like there's not much I can really do here. in like those terms, you know?
Yeah.
I would like to pick myself up and kind of dust myself off a little bit, and in true Cherry fashion, just go, hi, I'm Cherry, what's your name?
The crab kind of like clicks his little things at you, his little claws. Seems like settled down a little bit, but is still kind of looking at you. And I think let me see the actual rules for languages, because I think there's a possibility. I can't remember if it's that you have to roll to see if you can communicate, or with some creatures if you just can't.
Okay.
Normally I hand wave this a little bit, but I feel like there's a pretty big difference between like mice and like
Yeah.
creatures.
I have a backup plan if we can.
Alright, hang on. Okay, yes, can't directly communicate. Other mammals, you can make a will save to see if you can talk to them, but this creature, you can't directly communicate, other than, like, body language kind of things that you have been doing.
That is what I was hoping for. I would like to raise up my paws and hold them in a what would you call it? Kind of like a claw shape.
Uh-huh.
And I would like to attempt to kind of mimic the hermit crab's behavior.
Oh, okay. I think this is gonna be a will save, because that is like the languagey type thing.
That's fair.
So go ahead and roll me will. And
All
if
right.
you fail this, you are probably going to say something that offends the hermit crab.
Fuck. Okay, we're switching to a new D20.
I thought he was gonna think that they want to fight.
Yeah. Oh,
Square up,
yeah.
my dude.
So you want to get a 10 or lower?
I got a 6.
Okay. So you do that. What are you trying to communicate?
Very much we come in peace.
You do that, and it's not so much like the clicking that you're doing with your paw, because obviously that's nonsense. Like you're you're not really able to communicate.
I'm trying to click some kind of like hermit crab Morse code.
Yeah. But the fact that you're doing that, and the fact that, like, you know, your friends are kind of like, you know, don't seem as tense, like, you know, Seam can't like put her weapon away, but can like kind of let it drop to her side a little bit.
I did.
And
Like,
yeah,
while
you just
holding
hold
it.
it behind your back. Oh, that's so cute.
Love
So Seam does
like you
that.
can't see it, you can't perceive it. Doesn't exist. Object permanent.
The hermit crab definitely relaxes and starts kind of scuttling around, and is kind of like clicking its claw, and you can see there's like stuff around that it's like kind of clicking towards. I think everybody roll me a will save to see if you can try to figure out what he's trying to communicate to you.
Roll well. 2.
Nice. Okay.
7.
7. Cherry Pipp, is that a success? Oh yeah, that's a success for you.
Yes.
So Larkspur, you're like out of your depth. You're like knowledgeable about some things. You know what a jellyfish is. You do not know what is trying to be communicated here. The other two of you, though, Cherry Pipp, I think you looked into, or at least tried to look into the structure a little bit. And as this hermit crab is kind of like going around, you kind of peek over there. You see like a pile of pips inside. And Seam, you are noticing that some of the stuff that's like making up this shelter are like useful shelter. That's what it's called on the map. The thing is shelter. Are like useful things, and they're kind of like poking out enticingly. You think this is a store. You think that this hermit crab is like, you know, willing to part with some of the things that it collects in exchange for pips.
How do I communicate that I want to buy his wares?
Probably if you pull out some pips, I bet.
And I'm gonna grab a handful of pips and be like,
yeah,
but like with my sword free hand, that's still like.
He scuttles over to you eagerly, and kind of like.
How long has this man been without business?
Yeah, it seems like it must be a long time. So I'll tell you some of the stuff that he has. So he has like a fish hook. He has some fishing line, some broken glass, some can tabs. And he also holds out like a little pouch that has like what looks like caviar inside. That he like kind of brings over to you like maybe you want this.
I mean, it feels in character for Seam. Last time we were carrying around a pistachio for who knows how long.
That's true, you ate a rotten
I forgot about that.
And ate it and it went bad, didn't it? And then we used it as a flotation device.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much do you want for it?
He kind of like you're holding pips. He kind of gestures with his claw until he basically wants 50 pips for this pouch.
That's a lot. I have 179 pips, allegedly. Chewy!
Chewy used all of his pips to level up, unfortunately.
Doesn't this... Oh, fuck.
Sorry, he didn't have his own thing apart from what he used
His
to
own
level
bank. His own form of currency.
Yeah.
Oh, God. How much for the broken glass?
Broken glass, 10 pips.
What does that look like?
It's
like how big
shard.
is that?
Like
would it be like a dagger by
yeah,
our
I think
standards?
it'd be like a dagger.
Okay, I will part ways with 10 pips for a glass shard dagger.
Yeah, go ahead and put that, mark that in your inventory, that you have that in your bag, that you have this shard of broken glass. The other thing, actually, I'll give this to Larkspur, since you're kind of looking around and you're the one who's been like drawing things and like doing diagrams of everything. I'm assuming that's kind of what you're doing while Cherry Pipp.
Everyone's talking.
Everyone's
yeah.
talking, but you're kind of very solemnly looking around. You notice a disc-shaped item that's in the kind of like tucked in into the shelter.
Oh, I'm gonna need that. So is it something for sale or it's just in the structure itself?
I think the things that have been for sale have been in the structure, so you can see them kind of poking out. So I think Larkspur would probably assume that like this thing is probably for sale, or you could at least make an offer.
Yeah. So I'm gonna point and then hold up my bag of pips and then try to communicate that
Yeah.
I would like the round thing.
The hermit crab looks at the pips, looks at the thing, goes over to it, like polishes it with his claw a little bit, does kind of like a and then kind of like his eyes are kind of like going around, looks at Cherry Pipp. Is Cherry Pipp wearing the helmet that we established that you have?
Yes.
Gestures towards the helmet, and then makes like kind of a thing like gestures kind of like towards your body. So like gestures at the helmet, gestures at your head, gestures at your body. And pushes the pip bag away.
I can't tell if they want the helmet or if they have a crush.
Cherry just has that effect on NPCs.
There's something about this mouse.
Yeah, to clarify, they gesture towards your body, Larkspur. So they gesture towards
just kidding.
Cherry's helmet, and then
Okay.
towards your head, and then your body. And they seem kind of like frustrated that they can't communicate exactly what they want.
Cherry, would you be willing to trade Pips for the helmet so that I could trade it with this guy for the We're doing a three-way trade here. Am I getting it right? Is that how this works? I'm not sure.
Cherry,
I don't know what he wants.
If you go to reach for your helmet, like, he, like, kind of clicks again, shakes his head, looks down at the floor, and starts scratching something out, draws armor and a helmet. But it, like, draws little, like, sparklies around it, so it seems like he wants something specific. And then gestures towards, like, the doors. Actually, I think he gestures towards the next room over, which you can kind of see into. It seems like he wants a specific piece of armor.
Okay.
I mean, it appears that he knows what he wants, and he knows where it is.
I'm just worried it's more of a trap than anything. But, can I go to the next room then?
Yeah, there's not even
or look in.
Yeah, there's not even a doorway before the next room, so I'll just kind of tell you as you peek in what's in there. So this would be, for the map that you all have, it's in the first foyer that you were in. It's the door to the left if you're looking at the map. And kind of the one that's like, almost like coffin shaped, I guess. So you peer into that room, and you see that this room is filled with open clams, like, you know, like at the bottom of like a fish tank or whatever, like those clam kind of things. So it's filled with those. And there's a white and teal stone patterned floor, and some like partially crumbling pillars. And there is like a dais on like the far side. It looks like a temple or like some kind of like place of worship.
Oh.
I guess I'll step inside.
Yeah, you step into this next room. Like I said, it's almost not a different room because there's no door. It's just kind of like, it's like a narrower passageway, and then when you step into it. So yeah, what are the other two of you doing? Are you going with Larkspur, or are you hanging out in here?
Yeah, keeping an eye on Larkspur.
What about Cherry?
I think I'm stubbornly trying to communicate with this hermit crab.
Are you trying to communicate something specific, or you're just trying to see if you can?
Just trying to see if I can figure out, like, is there like a pigeon mammalian sea creature language we can figure out?
Make me a will save.
Uh, 14.
Yeah, so you're just doing that, and it's like really getting nowhere. Like you're trying to figure something out, and it's not getting you anywhere.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, are you going into the next room?
Oh no, I'm gonna stay here.
Oh, you're gonna stay there. Okay.
Continue hammering it out.
Slup is gonna stay with you. So you and Slup are in the room with the hermit crab. Larkspur and Seam, you go into this next room. You can still like see each other, like I said, it's not like completely blocked off. And you see, yeah, all these clams, some of them have like things inside of them. Above this altar, now that you're in the room, you can see it a little bit better. There's a stone carving of an ambulatory anglerfish, that has his arms like kind of spread like this. And there is like kind of a cabinet beneath that. And you can kind of see there's stuff in these clamshells.
Can I look inside the clamshells, or are they gonna like snap? Is it safe?
Are you?
I'm gonna try to pry one open.
They're already open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
they're open.
I just. Can I look inside of them then?
Yeah.
Like, how
Are you
visible is
trying
the
to
stuff?
like lean into them, or you're just trying to look at them from like where you are?
I just want to see what's inside.
Yeah, you
Or,
can
like, the kind of stuff
definitely
it's holding.
see, one of them has some of them have pearls, which you know are worth something. One of them has what you can recognize as a spell, because Cherry Pipp has, you've seen Cherry Pipp use spells, you know what spells look like, which is a little, like, stone tablet. And one of them has some crushed armor and like little pieces of seaweed.
Okay. I'm gonna grab the spell for sure.
Cool.
Or attempt to.
Roll me I think this would be a dexterity save.
Ooh. More than a 6. 5. Cool.
Cool. You grab it very carefully, and as you lift it, you snatch it out. The clam slams shut, but you grab it before it slams shut on you. And you have a spell. I don't think you know what the spell is. Like, you don't really have experience with magic. Also, I think this is kind of a good time for us to take a break, because we've been streaming for almost 2 hours. So we can take a little 10-minute break, or 15-minute break, I think, so we can refresh our drinks, use the restroom, that kind of thing. And when we come back from break, chat, you will get to see the rest of this Mausritter adventure. Do y'all want to wave goodbye to chat?
I'm definitely waving.
Felicitations, we're back with the second half of Mausritter. And we're going to be exploring the rest of this very cool temple. But before we do that, for anyone who's just coming back for the second half who missed the first half, we're going to do some quick reintroductions and also some plugs. I'll go first. If you're new here, my name is Taylor, and I stream here on Twitch. I stream a lot of one-shots, and I also stream some video games. Something exciting that's happening, which you may have noticed over the break, is I had promos for our lovely players today, but I also had promos for some other players, because I have this stream tonight, and I also have another one-shot stream on Saturday at the same time, so 6:30, starting at 6:30 Eastern. On Saturday, I'm going to be playing a game of Basic Witches, and that's going to be another serialized one, because we've played Basic Witches with the same players before. This time, they're going to be investigating why their school has gotten rid of their very cool sex ed teacher and has switched over to an abstinence-only education, and the witches will be exploring what's up with that. Last time they fought some incel warlocks. So I think this is going to be a fun one. But that's enough about me. Let me let my players reintroduce themselves and also let you know where else you can find them. And this time we'll start with Vanessa. What else you got going on?
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Where? I don't know. Hi, I'm Galaxy Wanderer X, aka Vanessa. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I play video games for the people, by the people. I think, right? They're not like computer games. I'm confusing myself. But hey, I play games like Apex Legends, where I kick and scream because I get scared and stressed, or Minecraft, where I kick and scream because again I get stressed, where I do plugs and then I kick and scream because I get stressed. But yeah, we have fun, and that's what matters. And I'm here to love you and simp over pretty women, pretty buff women with you. And you know, that's the dream. You all get forehead kisses. Goodbye.
Very good. Goblin.
Coke Starlight.
Yeah. Oh yes. Also, do you want to talk about your beverage of choice today?
Okay, ready? Have you ever dreamed of tasting space? I'm introducing Coke Starlight. It tastes like cotton candy and dreams. Cherry Pipp, this is your line. Goblin, your line.
Coke Starlight, taste the space.
That's what we were doing during the break. Planning is this real? It's not a real sponsorship. It is really happening though.
In my money.
Coke, if you're listening, feel free to retroactively give us money for that. Goblin, what else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
Well, hello! My name is Goblin, and I'm a non-binary variety streamer. I also stream on the Twitch. You can find me at Goblin Girl Gaming. I also have a Twitter and a sorely underutilized Instagram, so if you want to follow me there, go for it. And I do commissions. I've done the art for myself that you see right here, and also the art of the wonderful mice. So if you want to commission me, just shoot me a message. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Sierra, what about you?
I'm Sierra, or Super Silly Sierra, on Instagram and Twitch and Twitter and stuff. I'm a comic concierge, which means I like to pretend I know a lot about the comic book industry. I'm good at giving recommendations, can do some appraisals, talk about investments, or just talk about like characters you love and whatnot. I don't know. I'm open for anything. And yeah, not a whole lot going on, just a lot of reading.
I love how you're like, I like to pretend I know about comics. Meanwhile, your background.
Yeah, it's like the chair, and there's just like
so
and like box. Yeah, it's
like
wild
your
with
walls
the chair.
are
Don't
covered
look.
in comic art, and you're like, I pretend I know about comics. Sure, you pretend.
This is all facade. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's our crew. What's happened so far, in case you missed out on the first part of the game, is the mice had left the previous place that they had adventured to, and started making their way, what they thought was back to Calvington, their home. Got a little bit sidetracked, ended up more seaside than they intended. But found this town that Cherry Pipp had been to before called Brineford, which was known for having this big saltwater lake for the mice, pond, I guess, for a person. But that pond has dried up and revealed a temple at the bottom, which the adventuring mice were quick to decide, hey, let's maybe check that out, accompanied by the gallant frog knight, Slup the Stubborn, who is also very enamored of Cherry Pipp, much to Cherry's chagrin, but also convenience, because she does keep using that to get him to do things. So that's where we are now. Cherry Pipp and Slup are trying to talk to this hermit crab that they met, who's something of a salesperson, who indicated that he would trade this disc that they need for some kind of special armor, which prompted Larkspur and Seam to go peek into the next room, where there were some clams with pearls and other treasures and things like that inside, as well as an altar with a cabinet. And that's where you are now. Larkspur, you just grabbed this little piece of magic from one of the, out of one of the shells, but you did notice that it would have probably hurt you if you wouldn't have rolled successfully on your dexterity save. But yeah, what are you two doing while you're here?
Pretty excited I didn't lose my paw.
Yeah.
From that clam. Maybe drawing out this room as well.
Yeah.
With the map.
I'll say since you're taking some time to like really look at the room, you definitely notice this cabinet, which seems like it's the water damage to it. It's been like kind of sealed shut, like rusted over or something like that. And then there's also the altar that's at the top of it. There's 2 clams there, that are like occupying most of the altar.
Seam, do you want to do anything while we're in this room?
Scared.
Oh.
I mean, I just watched that thing like try to take your hat. Like,
there's some pearls in here, which I mean, maybe you could trade a pearl for some caviar.
that stuff did look really interesting. All right, I'm scared too, but we're gonna do it.
Okay, so go ahead and roll dexterity to try to get one of these pearls.
Come on, we have a semi-decent dex. We got a 9. And I have a 9 in dex. That fails, right?
No, your dex is 9, right?
Yeah. We
Yeah,
just leveled up.
Succeeds. Yeah, if you wouldn't have leveled it up, you would have failed, but you succeed because it has to be it
Jesus,
or lower.
fuck.
You grab this pearl and just, like, you feel the air around the edge of your paw as this thing clamps shut. But you got a pearl.
Oh my god. Falls on my ass. Just a little panic, but also like, damn, I did it.
Nice.
Big pride, always.
I'm gonna walk up to the altar now that I know that seems fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for looking out.
Yeah, there's this cabinet here. You think if you had like some sort of tool or something, you could maybe try to like crack this cabinet open.
Is the needle sword I have strong enough to...
You could try. What I would probably have you do is mark a usage on the needle, and I would have you roll probably strength to try to get the thing open. But that is definitely something that would, like, sometimes I have you roll to see if you would have to mark usage. I think it just for sure would mark usage since it's, you know, not necessarily made for that.
Okay. I'll give it a shot. I'll use the sewing needle.
Cool. Go ahead
to try to pry it open.
Strength.
7.
Nice. So that's a success.
I have 9.
Yeah. Go ahead
Cool.
and mark the usage for your sword. As
Nice.
you're like, oh, it's not really made for this. It's definitely like, you know, it's not bending in like an it's broken way, but it's kind of like when you're using a spoon for like ice cream and it bends and you're like, okay, I have to bend this back the right way. So your needle bends a little bit. But you are managed to pry this cabinet open. And you, let me see. I think roll me a dexterity roll with advantage. And I'll tell you what's going on after you roll it.
Oh no. 11.
Okay, did you roll twice?
Oh no.
Yeah, so advantage means you roll twice and you take the lower number.
Oh. Okay. 12.
Okay.
Cool. 11 it is.
So you pry this thing open. It pops open, and you kind of fall backwards a little bit. That's what the dexterity is, but which I'll narrate a little more in a second. But first I will tell you what you see, which is inside the copper cabinet, you see this helmet that is made of shells. And it looks like magical. Which is like, you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this looks pretty similar to the drawing that hermit crab did. So this is probably the thing that, like, he wanted. But these two clams are on, you know, the altar, like, on the dais that you're on. And so when you pop the thing open, the dexterity save was to see, like, you know, if you would accidentally, like, bump into one of them or the other. And you do. So I am going to roll because you are going to get a little bit snipped by that.
Oh no. My tail.
Oh no. Yeah, it definitely clamps the end of your tail, and you don't take as much damage because you don't have as much tail. But you are going to take 6 damage to your hit protection as it clamps onto your tail, which could have actually been a lot worse with what I rolled. The clams are not a joke. But it snaps shut on your tail, but you have this shelmet, and you're not, like, trapped or anything. Yeah, shelmet. That's also from the thing.
Nice. So not too bad, not the worst.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else? Was that the only thing in the...
That's the only thing in the cabinet, yes, is the shell helmet. Let me just make sure that is the only thing. I believe that's the only thing. Yes, that's the only thing. There is still another clam that has a pearl if you wanted to try to get another pearl. Otherwise, you could head back to the hermit crab.
Seam, is there anything you want to do? Nope.
Not after watching that thing bite your tail.
Well, to get out of here then.
Oh, Seam, roll me a will save.
Oh no. 18.
You take the frightened condition.
No!
And are terrified of these clams. So, like, before Larkspur can even, like recover and, like, let you know that they're okay, you run out of that room back to...
Oh, I'm a coward!
Oh, no! Back to the hermit crabs. But yeah, Larkspur, you dust yourself off. I mean, that definitely could have killed a lesser mouse, but Larkspur's kind of buff now.
Larkspur is a god amongst mice.
In strength. And will, not so much.
Yes, still only. What is your will score 3 still?
Yeah. It's been 4 games. I don't know.
I should say this for chat. So to level up in this game, you roll a d20, and if you roll higher than whatever your ability score is, you get to bump it up by 1. And so Sierra was like, oh, finally maybe I can get my will bumped up. And I was like, the odds are pretty good. Like, you just have to roll higher than a 3. And then she rolled a 1.
Yeah.
So the will stays.
It's a real story.
The one time in this game that you want to roll high, you roll low.
I love it.
But your other stuff went up, so that's good. Cherry Pipp, Seam Thorn comes running back into the room that you're in, clearly very afraid.
Could I re-roll my will save to see if I can communicate with this hermit crab?
You can. It is going to be a disadvantage.
That's fair. Hold on.
You're not learning much anytime. You're just still...
I am determined. All right. Oh, that is a 6 and a 19.
Oh. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, you're not making any. I think part of it too is because Slup is like talking incessantly during it, so just like saying, "So after I left the Temple of the Orchid, I traveled near and far to here," and it's just like talking about like all the stuff he's been doing while you're like trying to learn a language. But yeah, that is interrupted by Seam running in terrified.
Seam, you
Tail tucked
okay?
between my legs. Just cuddling Chewy in a corner with my head against the wall. That's all. No words. Only shivering shoulders.
I feel like Cherry isn't very good at the whole comforting thing. Mostly because she's the one that needs to be comforted usually.
Yeah.
It's very much that gif of the broom being extended and trying to brush what is it, Liz Lemon's shoulder.
Oh yeah.
It's like there. And so she just kind of like awkwardly sits next to Seam and is like, she's trying to find the words and she's got nothing.
I love that the concern isn't of what the hell happened.
Where's
Larkspur?
back yet?
Cherry
I'm-
immediately jumped to the worst possibility.
Oh, Larkspur's dead.
Slup is like, I shall, whatever harmed Larkspur, I shall fight it, and starts like marching into the other room where I presume he sees Larkspur walking towards him, holding some goods.
I want to say that Larkspur put on the helmet and is still finishing up the like drawing for the room.
Oh, yes, that's so cute. So yeah, he sees Larkspur with this shell helmet, writing, kind of sore-looking tail, and says, "Is that truly you, Larkspur, or is this some evil magic of the temple?"
Evil magic for sure, but it's not the temple. We're just I'm finishing up this room.
he kind of is like,
Huh?
"You're an evil wizard, Larkspur?"
No, but the spell might be, if we're lucky. And then
Oh,
I show him the spell that we found.
piece of magic. Fascinating. Can I take a look at it?
As long as you'll give it back, and then kind of just hand it over.
He starts turning it over in his hand and says, "I don't know what this could be. It's unlike any magic I've ever seen. Shall I try to use it to discover what it does?"
Do you think it's safe? Should we wait for the others?
I don't know if it's safe, but it's exciting.
Do you know what it does then? I mean, can I stand back? I have a helmet on. I guess.
He says, "I have
Can
no
we
idea."
hear this conversation in the other room?
Yes, yeah, you definitely, I mean, he has a
Okay.
very booming voice. He says, "I have no idea what it does, but I'd love to find out."
Okay, Cherry's gonna poke her head in.
I
was
just
gonna say
start
Cherry
sweating harder.
runs.
What did you say, Seam? Did you say Seam cries?
Sweating harder.
Yeah, Seam, you're like not able to like go closer to those the clams because you're afraid of them. So you're just like cowering in the corner. Cherry Pipp, you see Slup the Stubborn holding this little piece of magic, gesturing with it and advocating that he should be allowed to use it.
Okay. I would like to rush over and see it pluck it from his hands, if I can.
Ooh, I think
Yeah, I think this is Dex. Not necessarily anything bad is gonna happen to you, but he's just like taller than you, so to just grab it from him without him noticing, I think is a dex save.
19.
He, like, is gesturing with it, and, like, as you jump from behind, he just happens to, like, lift it up, and is, like, holding it up to the light and saying, "Yes, a fine piece of magic! I think I should try this!"
I really don't want that to happen.
I mean, Cherry could just say something. Like, he's not, like, actively doing it. He's just saying that he thinks he should be allowed to.
Okay. Slup, can I take a look at that?
Whoa, of course, milady. And gives you,
Milady.
gives you the magic rock.
That wasn't Cherry, that was all Goblin.
Milady.
Alright, can I take a look at this thing?
Yeah, I think, give me a will save to see if you know what it is. I mean, you know that it's magic, but if you can tell what it does.
I got a 10 exactly.
Nice. So you know a little bit about magic, and because you've, like, been to, like, this area before and have been to, like, the sea before, you know that it is a spell that causes, the person who wields it can use it to turn themselves into sea foam for a certain number of turns.
Oh. Okay. I relay that to the group.
Slup is like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't be much of a use to you, milady, if I were but made of foam."
Cherry seriously considers that as a proposition. Be a hell of a lot quieter, but
Yeah. Also, to clarify, it turns your own body into sea foam, so you can't use it on other creatures. It's kind of
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like gaseous form of D&D, where it's like you can use it on yourself.
Gotcha.
We found the evil wizard of the group, though, I guess. I don't know.
This is Cherry's villain origin story.
You're just like, I want to turn people into sea foam.
Not that fairy dying.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say earlier that, like, when Cherry was like, normally she's the one who needs to be comforted, I was like, yeah, Cherry is, like, fell in love and then
The trauma.
killed the person she was in love with like a week ago.
Like a week ago.
Maybe a little bit, maybe like 2 weeks. Still pretty recent.
It's still fresh.
That wasn't the villain arc. Mm-mm.
No. Turning people into some. But I will say, Seam, you still do have the frightened condition, but as long as you're not, like, with the shells, you can still do things. So if you want to try to trade in your pearl, you can do that.
What do I have in me?
Not caviar.
Yeah,
Take my pearl.
You
Give me the
tentatively
caviar.
Go over to the hermit crab with your pearl, and gesture to him, and he, like, his little stalk eyes widen. He scuttles over to you, takes the pearl, scuttles back into his house, comes out with the pouch of caviar that he offered you before, and some pips. Let me see how many pips. 450 pips.
Can I even carry that much?
I think it definitely would fill your pack like your purse the rest of the way, but then the rest of it you can put in your inventory, I think.
I need a calculator.
Okay.
It definitely is going to take up a slot of because it's more than can fit in your, in your purse. So it's like you put some in your purse and then you put the rest in your backpack or whatever you have.
Okay. How many was it?
450.
450. And then I have 169. 619. It's 250. I have 369 extra pips that are going in my inventory.
Nice. And you also have this pouch of caviar that you can also put in your inventory.
Do I even have enough inventory space?
You can have Chewie carry some of it. Chewie has inventory slots.
Yeah, Chewie can carry the caviar. I don't trust him with my foot.
Oh my god. Okay.
He's developed an attitude. I don't know how he's gonna rebel next. Okay.
He is hungry for pips. So, alright, let me write that down. Chewie is carrying.
He's hungry for pips.
Caviar. The rest of you, are you coming back into the shelter room?
I would say so.
Yeah, I'll follow.
I'll be a whole sugar daddy.
Larkspur, are you wanting to trade the shelmet for the disc?
I really want to keep the shelmet, only because it's called shelmet, but we need that disc, so I guess I can make the trade.
You come in wearing it, and immediately the hermit crab comes scuttling over to you and like gets right up and like starts looking at it, and then like clicks his claws really approvingly, scuttles back over to his shelter, takes the disc, and then brings it back over to you, and does the exchange. Takes the shell, looks very pleased, and like scuttles it into his shelter.
Nice.
Da, 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 da.
I don't know if anyone else wants to buy anything, but we can go try this disc on that door.
Wait, now that I have
water room.
hella money.
Yeah, is there anything else that you want to buy?
What else does he have again?
He has, you lost your fishhook and I mean, you didn't lose, you know where it is, but like, your fishhook with the thread is still attached to the crystal. So if you wanted to just not bother with trying to get it out of the crystal, or the salt crystal, and just buy a new one, you could do that. It would be 45 pips to buy a new fishhook and a coil of fishing line.
That feels wasteful.
He also has...
I'll go back for it later, I think.
He also has a pouch of sinkers, like fishing sinkers, and some can tabs.
What use does the can tabs have?
It seems like he has trash from the pond, like that he maybe has been coming and going somehow, and has been gathering like things to add to his house. A lot of it seems like trash.
Okay.
How much are the sinkers?
30 pips.
Jesus fuck. I'll take one.
Cool. Go ahead. And are you giving this to Chewie? Okay. So
Chewie's gonna be so
carry the
pissed,
sinkers.
giving me literal weight.
Chewie's carrying the caviar and the sinkers.
Could I haggle, or I don't know what haggling would look like with this. I don't want the fishing line, but I do want the hook.
I think, I think if you would have found a way to communicate at all, I would say you could try to haggle, but I don't know how you can haggle when you... Actually, let me do a will save with disadvantage, because you could just, like, gesture and offer fewer pips, because that's already how you've been, like, you know...
Okay.
Making purchases.
I got 2 5s.
Nice! Yeah. So, the hermit crab, here's what I'll say with 2 5s. You figure out how to click with, like, your mouth in a very similar way to how he clicks with his claws. And you still obviously are not speaking the same language. Like, you've just basically figured out, like, it's like how you can, like, meow like a cat meows, and, like, some people are good at that. You're making like a little clicking sound. He seems like kind of delighted by that, like as if kind of like when you have like a parrot that you've like taught a new word. Like that's kind of how he seems like towards you.
I am equally as excited.
Yeah. And he takes, I think he'll take you can get the fish hook for 10 pips instead of 20.
Oh, okay. Then I will take that.
Cool. And yeah, that'll just take up an inventory slot, the fish hook does. Yeah, are you headed back over to, you all headed back over to the big door?
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Let me roll something real quick. Okay, I've been rolling good for you on these encounter checks. Okay, so you go over to this big door. Larkspur, are you putting the disc into the indent? Cool. You put it in.
I've also got my needle out.
Cool.
Just in case.
Perpetually sorted out.
All right. Let me see. I'm just reading the next thing because it's. There's some stuff that I'm supposed to read to you and some stuff that I'm not supposed to read to you. So I just to make sure that I'm gonna say the correct things. Cool. Okay.
No, don't tell us everything.
You open this door that like you put this thing in. The door slowly swings open towards you. You see a short, ornate hallway lined with stoic ambulatory fish statues in various states of decay, which is leading to a double door that is closed.
I don't know how I feel about that.
This room is filled with the same false water. You can tell as you're like looking into it.
Oh.
No, go for it.
Does the door appear to be locked?
I don't think you can tell by looking at it. Also, I need to see, there actually might be something else in here. Hang on. I'm getting confused in reading this because I thought it was one thing and then I thought it was something else. So I think okay, I think I can't tell if this thing is supposed to be in this room or if it's supposed to be in the next room. I think that's all you see. I think what I said is already what you see. You can't tell if it's locked or not just by looking at it.
Okay.
Do we just run at it? Do we just all run at it at once and try to push it open?
Yes.
You know what Cherry's gonna say to that.
Slup is like kind of marching towards it and saying, "Onward to the adventure!"
I mean, yeah.
Cool. He kicks the door open. It's not locked or anything. It's just a door.
Nice! Wild!
I think the purpose of this room is so that you could like take a break or something before you get to like the next thing if you wanted to. So he kicks the door open. Now what you see, a large curved room lit by the soft glow of a massive jellyfish. Each barbed tentacle of the jellyfish is secured by a chain to the wall, pulled taut and crisscrossing each other, forming a stinging labyrinth. A spike on a glowing pulsing chain is pierced through the base of the powerful
I can't believe
jelly
you've done
spell.
this.
Thank you for the bit. I was like, who is
It felt appropriate.
talking right now? You also see two, like seaweedy kind of creatures that are like with armor that are kind of swimming through this water that you all can't really swim through. It's not thick enough, but they're made of seaweed, so they're kind of like swimming through the water. Actually, sorry, 3 of them. There's 2 that look smaller and 1 that looks very big. And as soon as they see you, they begin swimming towards you. Go ahead and you can roll dexterity, I believe, to see who goes first. I think one of you, I need to refresh my memory. I believe it's one of you rolls for the whole group.
Okay.
Because it goes like mouse turn and then enemy turn, basically.
And it's Dex?
I believe so. Let me double check, because it's been a little while since I've done combat in this game. Okay, yes.
Who has the highest Dex?
Yeah.
I have a dex of 9.
Oh, I do too.
Larkspur.
6.
All right, Wanderer, do you have a preference?
I was gonna say let's rock, paper, scissors, but I'd have to take your word for it.
I promise I'll be fair.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Wait, it's gonna be rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I did scissors.
Okay, one more time. Ready?
Okay.
Rock, paper, wait.
You were
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I did scissors again.
Okay, you win.
Okay.
Goblin, go ahead and roll dex.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Okay.
I have to have them roll dex.
Go.
I forgot.
I rolled a 3.
Okay.
Nice.
Let me roll for them. And what is their dex? Oh, hang on. I should have done this differently, probably. Okay. They. You definitely go first, and Slup actually goes first of all, because frogs have a specific thing where they always go first in combat. So Slup kicks the door in, draws his weapon, and lunges towards the biggest of these seaweed creatures. Let me see what his attack is. His attack... He has a spear, so I'll roll that. Let me see. Where's my... There we go. Ooh. Immediately stabs into this big seaweed creature, kind of like shredding parts of the seaweed off. And... oh, I should have probably done this all on the same page. I'm using Notion now for stuff, which is great. I highly recommend it. But... I should have put everything on one page and I put things onto different pages. So let me just write down the damage. Where did I put the enemies? Down here. Here we go. Enemies. And here we go. Okay, now I'm in where I need to be. Oh, holy cow. I think he just pretty much takes down one of these guys.
Nice.
Is that right?
Ooh.
Yes, he does. Okay, so he doesn't completely take him down, but he does 6 damage, which completely eradicates the hit protection. And then I believe damage after that goes to strength.
Mm-hmm. I
I
think, at least.
And then the creature has to make a strength save to see if that's critical damage, which if that happens, then oops, then that's bad. For it, I mean. Fails! Oh my god!
Oh.
It has a 15 strength, but it rolled a 19. So... Let me see. I don't think Slup has a different critical. Some creatures have, like, different critical damage. Slup goes, like, launches, like, his, like, kicks the door in, kicks off the ground, his spear in front of him, and just goes, like, straight through the armor of the biggest one of these seaweed creatures, and just, like, shreds some of the seaweed off, and it, like, falls limp on his spear. as it is incapacitated. Cherry, Pipp, Larkspur, or Seam, that you're next. Oh, actually, no, yes, that's right. One of you is next.
Does anyone know what they'd like to do?
I almost want to try the same thing with my sewing needle, but I know it's not going to be nearly as impressive as that was, so...
Do it. There's two other seaweed creatures.
Could I potentially do something before you use your needle? I have an idea. And Taylor, I hope you'll allow me to do this.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I would like to take my newly acquired hook and in a similar motion to Slup, I would like to swing down with it and attempt to kind of pin it down, hopefully giving my friends advantage.
Ooh, cool. I like that. So I think it wouldn't be advantage, it would be an enhanced, because you don't have to roll to hit, you just roll damage.
Okay.
So with like an enhanced attack, it's a D10, I think. D12. It's a D12 instead of what the thing usually is. So I will definitely allow it because that would make something. Yeah, that would make something enhanced. But I do think this is going to be a Dex check versus the Guardian for you to be able to do that. So
Sure.
Dex for the Guardian, and Trey Pipp can roll Dex.
17.
Okay, they got a 7. So Cherry, I think you'll take the, what condition is it? Is it exhausted condition? Let me see what the conditions are. It is exhausted, which... Oh, I don't have the thing open. I think exhausted is disadvantage on certain checks. I don't have I forgot to open the condition things, so hang on, let me check. Yes. Oh, actually, exhausted doesn't give you disadvantage. It just takes an inventory slot. So as long as you have a clear slot, it doesn't do anything. If you're over encumbered, then it starts doing things. But I don't know how much Cherry is holding.
I'm holding a surprising amount. I do have an inventory slot though.
So go ahead and just mark exhausted taking up that last inventory slot. So it doesn't really affect you that much now. You just feel basically the struggle, like you're basically kind of trying to arm wrestle this thing with this fish hook. And you're kind of, struggling against it. And you just feel like so tired as it like wriggles away from you. So that's Cherry Pipp's turn. Larkspur or Seam, what are you two doing?
I know my dex is a bit lower, so I don't know.
You could just make an attack with like your needle, and all you would do is roll the damage for your needle, which I think is a D8, I think. Let me see, because your needle is a medium weapon, I believe.
Mine says light.
Oh, light weapon. Okay. So it'd be a D6 then. I think that's a light weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you could just roll a D6 and like do some damage to one of these thingies.
All right. So I'm gonna throw the sewing needle at something.
Cool. Go ahead and roll a D6.
5.
Cool. You do that. Let me. Oh. Why did that just happen? You definitely do some damage to this thing. They are wearing armor, so it does a little bit less than, sorry, my notes are like bugging out right now for some reason. I think I'm like accidentally clicking on things that I don't mean to click on, but it is inconvenient. So you do damage to this thing. It does not go to its strength. So it's not incapacitated, but you do like, stab into this like seaweed that makes up its body.
Nice.
And it sounds like that is also what Seam wants to do.
I mean, I feel like I can't really do anything when I have a sword stuck in my hand other than use the sword.
When all you have is when all you have is a sword, every problem looks like a sword problem. Is that what it is? Do you want to go for the one that that Larkspur already tried to attack, or do you want to go for the other one?
Vision.
Cool. Go ahead and roll. I believe yours is also a d6.
My notes say D8, but I don't know.
Cool. Then go ahead and do a d8.
5.
Nice. So you definitely do damage to its strength. And I'm going to roll to see if that incapacitates it. Oh my god, it rolls 1 above, so it is also incapacitated. So you and Larkspur team up on this one. The other one is going to make a morale check to see if it wants to stay in the fight.
Be scared.
Which is, I believe, morale is will.
Music.
In these dire times.
Yes, he's an ally, flee or fall. So that's gonna be will save, yeah. The other one does save. So it does not completely run away, but you have taken out 2 of these seaweed creatures.
Nice.
That is the last one's turn. I think it is going to go for... probably not gonna go for Slup. I think since Slup just, like, skewered the leader, so it's kind of like, scared.
I would be too.
I think I'll have it be the one that Cherry was fighting. So I think it'll go for Cherry.
Oh no!
Cherry just always looks very attackable. Okay.
I'm attractive the wrong way this time.
Everything's attracted to Cherry. Okay, so let me see. It has a stone spear. I only rolled a 1, so that's only 1 damage to Cherry Pipp. As it goes.
Rolling
for you.
poorly, Taylor.
Also, I am rolling very poorly. I was playing D&D the other night, and I was rolling very poorly for that too. Also, I just realized that the main one had armor, and I didn't calculate that. So
He's been resuscitated.
It's not incapacitated, because it didn't do enough damage to get to its strength. So it's wriggling on Slup's spear and is going to attack Slup. So that one is still up. And that one has an aquamarine axe that it's going to swing.
That's kind of cool.
On Slup. Oh,
I
it
want an aquamarine
does
axe.
a considerable amount of damage to Slup.
Slup!
Let me see if that takes him out. Let's see. Slup. Oh. Definitely goes past his hit protection.
Our poor knight in shiny armor.
Yeah.
Our poor frog in froggy armor.
But it doesn't do too much damage to his strength, so I'm gonna have him roll strength to stay in the fight. And he rolls an 8, so he's still in it. But he takes a very, this seaweed creature, is on his spear, swings at Slup with the axe, and, dents into Slup's armor, kind of damaging it beyond repair, and does some damage to his strength. But that's back to the 3 of you. I'll let you 3 go first, and I'll have Slup go last, because that's more interesting.
I'm gonna go back at it with the sword.
Yeah, roll a d8. Are you attacking the big one that Slup's fighting, or are you attacking the last? Okay, cool.
The big one. Hurt my boy Slup. I rolled a 6.
Cool. Okay, nice. That's a good amount of damage. Let me see.
This cursed
let me go back
sword
to the enemies.
brings me strength.
Da, da, da. Okay. All right, now it's gonna make another save, and all of that damage went straight to its strength. Oh, I have to also have you do something. I just remembered.
Unfortunately.
But I'll let this happen first. It does save, so it stays on the fight. Seam, go ahead and make me a will save.
Spooky sword curse time.
Yeah.
I rolled a 3.
Hey, so you're not afraid.
We're brave.
You managed to. You're still afraid of the clams in the other room. But you're not afraid of the guardians.
My anger for Slup conquered my fear.
Yeah. Cool. That's Cherry Pipp or Seam, or Cherry Pipp or Larkspur. What do you want to do?
I'm definitely gonna go help Sherry.
Cool. You want to make
that is appreciated.
Do you want to make another attack with your sword? Cool. Go ahead and roll that.
Let's see. 3.
Perfect. So that is that. Okay, it still doesn't go to its hit protection yet. Or doesn't go through its hit protection, sorry. So you go over with your needle and I think what happens is, like, you, instead of, like, stabbing with the needle, just in, like, the busyness of everything that's happening, you just, like, swing with the side of it, but it's not sharp on the sides. You just crack the shell armor of this seaweed creature. And that's Cherry Pipp. That's you.
What's the deal with the armor? Is it like very firmly attached to these seaweed creatures?
Yes. I mean, like, they're wearing it.
Okay, but I want to know if I am able to, because I want to keep using this fishing hook that I just got.
Yeah.
I want to know if there are any chinks in the armor that
so
I
try
could
to pry it off
with the hook. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I think that's gonna be probably a strength check to try to do that. Not contested, just a strength check.
Okay. Oh, my strength's a 5. I don't know. I'm gonna go for it.
Cool.
Oh, here we go. Come on. That is a 14.
Okay.
I saw the 4 and got real excited.
Go ahead and mark a usage of that hook. So you, like, get it into, like, a little part of the armor and are, like, trying to pry it open, but you can tell you are causing some damage to this hook, and you know, you can't do this too many times before it'll break. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all of you. So that's gonna go back to the guardian. The big one is, oh no, Slup has to go. So he's gonna fight. He's gonna try to hit the guardian. All right. So he's got this. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that's gonna leave. The strength of this big guardian is very low. So let's see how this goes. It fails. Okay, so this time Slup does skewer this thing, and it is incapacitated because it failed that strength check. Then the other guardian that's fighting Cherry is going to go. I think this time it's going to go for Larkspur, though, since you actually did damage to it. So it's going to do a d8. And that's 2 damage to Larkspur. Does that finish off your hit protection?
I was at 3.
Okay, good. So you're at 1.
Nice.
And I think then that is going to be the 3 of your turns. Because you're down to just one of these guardians.
I'm gonna take a step back for a sec.
I'm going to put myself in between Larkspur and the other creatures.
So brave.
And I'm going to attack with everything I have and pray.
Cool. Do you still have an advantage that you haven't used?
I do.
I'll let you use it for the damage, so you can roll a d4 twice and take the higher number for the damage.
Ooh.
Because we're getting pretty close to the end point, so I want you.
Wait, a D4 or a D8?
I think it's a D. Did I say D4? It's a D8 for your.
Okay.
Weapon.
Okay. Roll it twice.
Yeah, roll it twice and take
Got
a
a
higher
6.
number. Already pretty good.
I went under my keyboard.
And an 8! Hey! Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Okay, so this thing does have armor, so that's 7 damage to it. 2 goes to its hit protection. It has a 10 strength, so that brings it down to what'd I say? 7, 5. So it brings it down to 5 strength. It's gonna roll a strength save to try not to be incapacitated by this. It has to get a 5 or lower, otherwise the fight is over.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll.
Die.
It gets a 12. So Larkspur, Seam, you step in front of your friends. You're still afraid of this other stuff that's been happening, but you know you have to protect your friends. Cherry Pipp has been really hurt before, although is not super hurt now. Larkspur very hurt from what you saw earlier. And you just position your feet and lunge forward with this sword that's permanently in your hand. Is there anything cool that Seam says as you finish off this guardian, this seaweed guardian?
I'm not witty.
It doesn't have to be witty. It can just be cool.
Not cool. I don't think so, but definitely for sure, blade up through the torso and
Yeah, you hoist this thing fully over your head. As the
just screaming like a guttural warrior no. Oh my
god. Yeah,
the trauma of almost losing my friends. Are you kidding?
Yeah. You're standing there with this thing pinned above you. Slup has the big guardian, I think, pinned to the wall. And you're in this room with this illuminated by the light of this chained up jellyfish. What do you want to do?
I weekly remind everyone not to touch the tail of it.
Oh yeah, the
it's
tentacles.
Dangerous. And then fly back down.
Do we
Fly
have
back
anything to
down.
help you? I like the mental idea of just guys, don't touch the thingy.
Yeah.
And then out.
Oh damn.
I think as you're
we can explore the room, yeah?
Yeah, you can explore the room.
Okay.
So you have to
And
be
avoid the
careful.
tentacles.
Yeah, you have to be careful
Yeah.
going around it because there's all these tentacles that if you touch them, they'll, zap you. But you're kind of walking around. Let me see if there's anything. I think I said pretty much everything that's in here before. But you can tell this thing seems like the jellyfish does seem like it's in distress because it has its tentacles are all chained, and then there's a spike that's going up into the bell of the jellyfish that's kind of glowing with energy. There's a kind of crackling sound in the room. Slup, I think, as you're looking around, says, "This must be the powerful sorcerer who is imprisoned here."
Heck. Is there any obvious way for us to free it?
Yeah, I think if you take the time to go around and do it, like, you can undo the chains. Like, there's no like, you've taken care of the guardians, so there's not like an immediate thing that's like trying to kill you. So I think if you take the time to like go around and undo the chains, you can.
See, the good in Seam is like we have to free it. Like understands like what it feels kind of like to feel trapped. But then the Vanessa is like, but you don't know what it is.
Oh,
You bastard. Seam starts going around unlocking everything.
Yeah.
Cherry will help.
Yeah.
can I pick up that aquamarine axe that seaweed
absolutely,
guy
yeah.
has?
I didn't think of that. So cool.
Yeah,
Because it sounds really cool,
You
right?
pick up an aquamarine axe. Larkspur's pretty strong. I think you can wield it. It does a d10 of damage when you use it.
Nice.
Ooh.
I think it
God
is two-handed, though. It's a heavy weapon.
I might be using it as a walker right now, but we have it. We've acquired it. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you pick up that. The other two of you are undoing the chains of this jellyfish, and once you do, it like kind of its tentacles and like pulls itself up off of this spike through the center of it. And once it does that, there's like a blast of energy that like ripples through the room. It doesn't harm any of you, but like you're still in this like kind of faux water as it ripples through. And it you all hear in your minds, "Thank you, adventurers, for rescuing me."
Starts crying off.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know that you're trapped in here for who knows how long. Oh my god.
The fish people who trapped me here, they wanted the power of my crystal. I tried to use the crystal to I tried to enchant the crystal so that they wouldn't have interest in it, but it didn't work, and they left me here and used me as a source of energy.
Oh my god. So many feelings. Anger.
That might just be the sword, though.
You're right. Too many feelings. Fair. No more clams, please.
I can handle anything but the clams.
Oh,
Not the
Clams. Why did it have to be clams?
I think the jellyfish says like, again, not like speaking, but just like communicating,
Mentally.
telepathically. Says, "My name is Dormu, and I can grant each of you a boon in exchange for the help you've given me today."
What's a boon?
A boon is a favor, a magical favor.
Oh my god, there's so much we could ask for.
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, there's so many. Vanessa in my head. I'm gonna get rid of the sword.
Yes, you are cursed right now.
Does Seam even know that she's cursed? Like,
I think you do. You know that there's like something bad going on with the sword, because I think when you grabbed it, you like felt something, and like
The vibes were
afterwards,
off.
you got scared when like someone took damage. So and also you know you can't let go of it. So,
maybe I'm just like, oh, it's my favorite thing.
I guess it's up to you if you
I'm gonna
think
say-
Seam doesn't know, but I think Seam would have reason to know that she's
Yeah.
cursed.
Is anybody gonna go first?
I
to
haven't
think of anything.
decided. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what was your name again?
Dormu.
Dormu. I don't know why my brain was saying Dormammu, and I'm like, that's something else.
Yeah, that's like kind of a bad guy. Dormammu.
Dormu, I have been cursed, and I can't let go of this sword. I don't know what I want though.
I've been sword. I don't know what I want though.
Listen.
I mean,
I don't know if I want to be rid of the sword or be rid of the curse on the sword. You get me?
I could break the curse of the sword, and you could still have a sword.
Okay, I think that's what I would like, please.
Dormu extends a tentacle towards you and doesn't touch you, but there's a little zap of electricity to your nose. And in that moment, Seam, for the first time in a while, you feel like you can sheathe this sword. Which is it is like a fairy sword, so it does have like a cool magical thing now that the curse is broken. So it's still a good sword, but you're not cursed by it anymore.
What's the cool magical thing?
You'll
find out next time.
No, I think I'll tell you because you already know that the fairies could do this. You can transform yourself into a let me see the exact wording of it. I think it's a mouse-sized creature. But let me make sure. Where is this? Spells. Where is this? I believe you can transform yourself into any mouse-sized creature, or you could make yourself look like a different mouse, disguise yourself. Where is this in
That's
the book,
so
though?
cool.
Yeah, that's super epic.
Which is what the fairies could do, famously. Yes, you may disguise yourself as any mouse-sized creature while wielding it. So you can make yourself look like a different mouse. You could look like a vole or something like that. But yeah, you can disguise yourself, which is what the fairies can do with these swords. So yeah, you have a cool sword.
Win.
A cool non-cursed sword.
Fucking win. I can finally put it away and use my other items.
I just thought that was your favorite thing. I don't know. I didn't realize it was cursed.
I thought it was a vibe.
Yeah. Just really likes this sword.
I didn't know it was cursed. Yeah, what about Cherry Pipp? Or Larkspur? Do either of you have an idea for what you want your boon to be?
Is there any way that I could be taught a very specific kind of magic?
What do you want to be taught?
Necromancy.
Not where I was going,
Dark,
but that...
I want to learn dark magics.
Please.
I was wondering if I could learn the art of magical silence, essentially.
Ooh.
Cherry wants to use this against her sister.
Here's what I'll say, because for mice, magic is not innate.
Okay.
But this is a boon. So I think you say that, and you, the jellyfish puts a tentacle out towards you, and instead of shocking your nose, gestures towards your hand, and a little electricity goes towards your hand, and in your hand you are now holding a magic stone that has the silence ability. So it's not inherent to Cherry, but you have,
I have created a new spell.
You've created a new spell.
Hell yeah.
What about Larkspur? I do, if you can't think of something, Sierra, I did think of something that would maybe be something that
Your
you
tail.
want.
Okay. Oh man, see, I was gonna ask if I could make my will stronger.
That's what.
But I don't know. I don't know how Wizard of Oz that is, but if we could
The power was in you all along.
yeah,
your
figure
will
that out. Unlock that.
Yes. Here's what we'll do. Sierra, roll me a d6 and roll it twice and tell me what the higher number is.
5.
Cool. Your will. As you how does Larkspur word this to Dormu?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not very good with words. Is that part of it though?
No. I just am wondering, like, if Larkspur is just saying, like, you want to be more brave, or like what exactly, like, how you're communicating this. But if you can't think of anything, that's fine.
Probably just less cowardly. Let's go with that.
So you'd like to be less cowardly, and they extend a tentacle to your heart, and you feel a little zap, and your will goes up to 8 instead of being at 3.
Nice. Let's go, Larkspur.
I'm so happy.
Slup the Stubborn says, "And I wish only for a life of adventure," and runs out of the room before Dormu can even do anything, just charging on to the next adventure.
Nice.
And Dormu kind of floats herself out, and if you follow, they go into that room that had the crystal, the salt crystal.
Can I get my...
Oh, yeah! Yeah, they grab the salt crystal with a tentacle and, like, unhook your hook and kind of toss it behind them.
Dormu's a real one.
They gather up, hang on, there's actually, like, a thing that happens. Let me look at this. They go into the that garden that you were in before that had, like, the well and everything, and they, grab the crystal and go down into the well, and you can see they push past whatever, like, the dome of the jellyfish pushes past whatever the base of that was, and it crumbles away. And they continue to take these little slugs in their tentacles and guide them out of this temple. And that's the last thing I have prepared.
Chewie didn't get a boon.
Chewie comes dragging in after the fight, weighed down by the sinkers.
And all that.
Misses the boon.
I love the idea of Chewie accidentally getting Slup's boon of, like, a life of adventure.
Oh no.
I mean, what is Chewie living right now? Like,
but yeah, is there anything that you want to do before we wrap our little story up tonight?
I would just we don't have to play this out, but just the moment where we return to Pecan and we get into a sisterly squabble and I use my first use of the silence spell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, also, is there anything... So you go back to Brineford. Cherry Pipp, you're prepping to do that. Seam, you've come into a lot of money. Is there anything that you're doing when you get back to this town and can spend some pips?
I'm getting us rooms to sleep in.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's important. We've had a long day.
Mm-hmm.
My buddies are tired.
Yeah. You get
I didn't get hit once.
Room.
Like,
do we run into Slup, or is he, like, taken off?
What does he do? He is taking off. You go back to you're getting your rooms and everything like that. And I think Slup you run into him later. He's having dinner or something like that. And he says, So I think we see, Larkspur. I keep doing that. I don't know why I can't say Seam instead of Larkspur. Seam gets the rooms. You have you've come into this money. Cherry, you have this squabble with Pecan where you just force her into silence. And her face gets really red. And she gets really angry. You get settled in your room. Larkspur, you heal up. Get some rest. You come down for dinner, and you can see that Slup is, eating dinner at this this mouse tavern that you're in by himself. There's no one else sitting with him. You come down, and he says, "Ah, my compatriots, come, join me for dinner."
I mean, I'm feeling brave.
Carrie kind of rolls her eyes and goes to join him.
Yeah, we'll just go sit at the table.
Well, nothing beats a day of exploring an ancient temple and getting a magical boon, saving the day. What's next on the docket for all of you? What's your next adventure going to be?
I mean, we are trying to get back home. We were spirited away by a rather rambunctious human child, I should clarify. We're a little bit far from home.
I have heard there's a human who can be of some help towards creatures of our kind.
Oh?
In what way?
Well, the rumors tell of a powerful druid who spent some time amongst us, pretending as if he was one of us, pretending to be a rat. And then the rat disappeared, was transformed back into his humanity, and still extends kindness to creatures like us.
This rat wouldn't happen to have a quarter shield, would he?
I don't know about a quarter shield, but I believe the human does go by the last name of Enigma.
No!
Yes!
Oh my gosh, I wasn't ready.
And I think with that, we'll end the one shot. The return of Parmesan Enigma.
Oh my
Hell yeah!
Thank you all so much for hanging out. I already talked about some of the other stuff that I have coming up. So this Saturday, I am going to be playing Basic Witches, which is another that is a single page RPG that's super fun. We did an October one before, so we've got that coming up. And then tomorrow, depending on how tired I am, because I've had a very busy week, I am planning to play Minecraft on stream tomorrow at 6:30. Yeah. What about the rest of you? This time let's start with Goblin. What else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
Oh gosh. Well, I have a Twitter and, as I've said, a woefully underutilized Instagram. Both same as here on Twitch. It's Goblin Girl Gaming with no I in girl. I think that's really all I have. I do have a Discord server, but that's all I got.
Cool. Vanessa, what about you? Where else can people find you?
You guys can find me. Holy shit. You guys can find me mostly anywhere via the name Galaxy Wanderer X. Yes, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
Oh shit, TikTok.
There's too many social networks.
But yeah. Am I supposed to plug myself again? We're working on things and stuff.
So if you don't If you don't want to list everything, there are links in chat.
Nah, Vanessa, you gotta do the anime voice again.
We're trying to watch Scooby-Doo Spooky Island via community challenge if you want to stop by and use your meteorite points.
Ooh.
Also, we're working on a Minecraft server for the boys and girls and the babies. So hey, why don't you come hang out and we'll do some fun stuff.
Minecraft. Sierra, what about you?
You can find me on all the usuals, Instagram, Twitch, the Discord. Put my name into any social media, see what pops up, because there's something, I swear, okay. Yeah, lots of Dead by Daylight recently. I'm sure there will be a comic stream soon. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, so stay tuned. But yeah, just find me on the internet, hang out, ask for book recommendations. We'll talk about superheroes, I don't know.
Yeah. And then also, if you're watching this, you can get the game that we played, which is Mausritter, at mausritter.com. And then also, there's a link in chat, or if you're watching the YouTube VOD, there's a link in the description for this specific adventure that we ran, which is The Drained Temple of the Brackish Basin by Brian Stauffer. Thank you so much, Brian, for letting me use your adventure location. It was super fun. Incredibly better than anything that I could have come up with for Mausritter. So I appreciate that. The other thing, I'm going to mention this really quickly. Melanie, I almost forgot to bring this up. Melanie's partner, Tag, is running a game of Rafenheim, which is a tabletop RPG that they wrote. And I appeared in that on their stream this past Saturday. And this coming Sunday, we're going to do the second half and the end of Rafenheim. So, Melanie, if you can shout out Tag so that people can follow them if they're not already. I'm playing a romantic named Lucy Adwell who is in love with the... and betrothed to marry to the mysterious heir of Rafenheim. It's been very fun playing that one. But that's going to be it for us. Friends... who are on this Zoom call with me, do you want to say and wave goodbye to chat and to the YouTube VOD? And I'll leave this call.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, I'm going to...
We keep waving.